Hey everyone, I'm Steph,
I'm Megan.
and welcome to another episode of Late Night Reads.
This week we are diving into the magical world of romantasy and covering A Fire in the Flesh by Jennifer Armentrout.
Let's start with why we selected A Fire in the Flesh. Obviously, we had to know what happened after Kolis took Sera. I mean, we couldn't just not find out, clearly.
Right? Yeah. Duh.
Right? I mean, she's being held captive at the end of A Light in the Flame. We know it's going to be bad based on what Eos had shared about how Kolis treated his, I don't like to use the word favorites. I know that's what he called them, but clearly they were not treated favorably. But the emotional trauma that like Sera has to suffer at the hands of that man is like absolutely chilling to read. And then we are here for Daddy Nyktos losing his shit about Sera being taken. He may claim he doesn't love her due to his cardia being gone, but that man would destroy both realms to save her.
Yes.
And we like to be emotionally damaged. We've talked about this before, and this book definitely does that. I sobbed, I'm not joking you, the last like 30% of the book. Like
Oh my
full
gosh.
on, was sitting by the pool sobbing. My husband's like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "I can't talk about it right now." He's also reading the series, but he's earlier. I think he's on the Crown of Gilded Bones right now, so I can't literally talk to him about what's happening. He was just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm not okay." And then we got to Spice and it got better. Plus, we finally get confirmation that Nyktos and Sera are heartmates, and we've been hoping that was the case for a long time. So happy about that. And then we get to learn a ton of information in this book that we think is going to be extremely helpful in the Blood and Ash world. We'll see if we're right.
Think? We'll see. You got some unhinged theories. We'll see if they
Yes.
play out. But first, here are a few things that you should know about the author, Jennifer Armentrout. So first up, she is a New York Times bestselling author and writes young adult, paranormal, science fiction, fantasy, and contemporary romance. So we definitely consider the Flesh and Fire and Blood and Ash series to be adult based on its content. I mean, not safe for work, not safe for under 18.
No.
Adult content. So also Jennifer Armentrout has a full house. She has a husband, a dog, multiple alpacas, goats, and a sheep. So maybe in that sense it's a full barn, but she's got a lot going on. And then she was also diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, which is a group of rare genetic disorders that involve a breakdown and death of the cells in the retina, which is going to eventually result in a loss of vision. So she's very passionate about educating people on the varying degrees of blindness, and we support her all the way through that too.
So before we jump into discussing this book, a couple of key reminders. As always, this episode will contain spoilers. We assume if you are listening, you have read this book. And we're assuming you have read A Shadow in the Ember, A Light in the Flame, From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, The Crown of Gilded Bones, The War of Two Queens, and A Soul of Ash and Blood. Do not come for us when we talk about theories that are tied to all of these books. We have warned you.
Yes, you've been dutifully warned.
So this book contains a lot of topics that may be sensitive for some readers, and we're going to talk about a lot of it on the podcast. So anxiety, assault, blood, bullying, death, emotional abuse, kidnapping, murder, physical abuse, PTSD, sexual assault, sexual harassment, suicide, stalking, torture, and violence.
That may be like our longest list.
I think it might be our most traumatizing list.
Oh, it's definitely the most traumatizing list. Yeah, for sure. This is not for the faint of heart. But now let's talk tropes. So first off, we have touch her and die. Of course, Nyktos has also been overly protective of Sera, but it's taken an entirely different level when Kolis is literally holding her captive. I mean, this dude is ready to burn down both realms, heaven and earth, and all the in-betweens to get her back because nothing is more important to him than her, even though he doesn't love her. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Sure. Next, we have found family. So Sera had a rocky start with some of the gods in the Shadowlands, given the fact that she was technically trained for most of her life to kill the Primal of Death, aka their best buddy Nyktos. However, they start to all see that she is willing to do anything that it takes and sacrifice everything for them in A Light in the Flame in this book. And it's why they're all honestly so like deeply saddened when they believe they have to say goodbye to her at the end before Nyktos takes the embers of life. So we also see Nyktos allow himself to acknowledge that he has friends and stops keeping so much distance between himself and others who care about him. So you're like, oh, you're maturing, you're growing up. How wonderful for you to do that, even though you're like hundreds of years old.
It's about time.
It's about time. But you know what? Better late than never, I guess. I don't know. And then next we have fated mates or heartmates. We've theorized for a while now that Nyktos and Sera were heartmates, and it is confirmed in this book. Absolutely, we knew it. And then we also lastly have chosen one. So from the very beginning of the series, Sera was chosen to become the consort based on a deal made between Ethos and her father. This is further intensified by the fact that she carries the embers of life in her from both Ethos and Nyktos. Plus, she also has the soul of Sotoria. And it's just like, what? And so she ends up becoming the primal of life. And honestly, doesn't get more chosen than that, except perhaps her granddaughter, Poppy. So we got theories on this. We'll see how it goes.
Also, are we ever going to stop giving all the problems to young women?
Seriously. Like, oh, man.
So, if you need something done, give it to a woman. That is what we're learning.
I mean,
all right. In terms of every magical twist, we got a lot going on here. Like a lot of the books in the series, it starts immediately after where A Light in the Flame ended, with Sera being held captive by Kolis. And you're going to get lots of like visceral reactions from me today, so just keep that in mind. But she's currently in his arms, because, Kolis was drinking her blood to steal the embers of life from her until he realized that she has Sotoria's soul. And so Sera's close to death, given how much Kolis has drank from her before he stops, so he has to make a choice. He can continue to feed from her and take the embers, which fucking Callum, that's how he'll be referred to, wants him to do. Or he can save her life, which Attes is pushing for and advocating for, since, she's his love. And at this point in the book, his Grega, I fucking hate Attes at this point. I'm like, you are a traitor. You're almost as bad as Callum, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then, right? And because we've already discussed that Callum is worse than Alistair. So it's like Callum, Alistair, Attes right now.
Yeah.
In terms of people I dislike. It's not a good list. I gotta figure out where Kolis goes on that list, because he's very close to the top too. Mm-hmm. But we obviously learned later there's more to his story, but I have still some like residual anger about him. I just wanted to point that out, but there's still a part of me that's very angry. But he does get like a small bonus point. This is how my brain works. I was like, I'm going to give him a bonus point because he did throw a dagger at fucking Callum in this scene. So like anytime Callum has to die for a few minutes, like is a win to me.
Yes.
So I do like that. Okay. And then Sera also believes that she saw a wolf outside that she thinks is Nyktos, and she's thinking that she might be hallucinating. And I don't blame her. If I had been kidnapped by Attes, taken to Kolis, had my blood drank, and was close to death, I might hallucinate as well. Mm-hmm. It's, your brain's way of protecting you. But no, it was. And so Nyktos is out there, and he is about to go all primal or Daddy Nyktos on their asses for taking his girl, which brings like an entirely new meaning to touch her and die. Like I thought I understood what that meant in books, but I feel like this scene when he like loses his shit changes that a little bit. It just it just ups the level of what is expected now. So
yeah,
because he basically unleashes hell in the chamber. And then like Attes and Callum were like thrown against the wall. The building's shaking. It's cracking. Chunks of stone are like exploding everywhere. And he's furious at Kolis. But then he has to deal with Hanan, right? Hannon? We'll go with Hannon. Who warns him to walk away before it's too late. Well, it's definitely too late. Like, what do you mean before it's too late? You took my wife.
Yeah, I was like, the line in the sand has already been crossed. So
correct. So what do you want to do? So, Nyktos wants to rip out his heart and tear off his head. And I really like Sera's point of view here. She's like, it's kind of disturbing, and it's also like kind of hot. And I was like, oh my gosh, you and Poppy are the same person. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it also means there's a new goddess of the hunt. Belle.
Oh, go Bella. Love it. And so then Kolis offers to let Nyktos walk away. As if it's like, family courtesy. Like, okay, you can walk away.
It's okay. I'll take your wife. It'll be fine.
Yeah, he's so dumb. And he would need to advise Bella basically to appear before Kolis and swear her loyalty to him. And Nyktos also has to order his forces to stand down and leave the borders of Dalos immediately. And of course, Sera has to stay with him, with Kolis. It's like, okay, let me think about that. All these things that you want me to do, I don't want to do. So, no, I don't want to do any of that. Nyktos is like, how about instead I kill you, Kolis? Which, like, we all know technically, like, that can't happen because then, like, the world would end. But, touch her and die. So I'll destroy the world. Yeah, it's like, not great. So basically, Kolis makes that deal, and Nyktos is like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. And so then there's major primal fighting between Nyktos and Kolis, and Sera is still struggling, obviously, to, like, come to. And Kolis is also claiming that Sera was never Nyktos's to crown because, quote, she has always been mine, alluding to Satoria's soul. And it's like, okay, I have a feeling that Satoria and his soul would beg to differ about Kolis, considering, you scared the shit out of her and, like, literally, like, made her jump to her death. Like, she does not like you. She no likey. She bye-bye. No, thank you.
This line also kind of, how, like, I love it when they're, like, guys, like, growl and they're like, you're mine or whatever. This almost ruined that for me because I was like, when Kolis was like, she has always been mine, I'm like, ew, no, don't use my, no.
Don't use our sexy word. No. I'm not you. No, thank you. No means no touchy. Go away.
He needs to hear that a lot in this book.
He really does. Yes, exactly. And then Attes tells Sera that she needs to convince Kolis and Nyktos to stop fighting because Kolis is just going to end up killing Nyktos. Like, even though he don't mean to, it's just going to be like an accidental, like, took things too far. Which I'm like, yeah, I believe that. Kolis does not know how to hold himself accountable for his actions at all. And so a couple of things that are interesting about this conversation. Attes refers to Nyktos as Ash, which is something that only his father and Nyktos and Sera have called him. So it's kind of a breadcrumb for what we learn later in the book about that connection between Attes and Ethos. And Attes also claims that Kolis wouldn't mean to kill Nyktos, which is another kind of breadcrumb that we learned about how Ethos died and, like, how Kolis didn't mean to kill his brother. But, these are two things you probably don't pick up on when you first read the book, but they stand out once you know the full story. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's angry and, like, wants to, like, imply pain and, like, hurt, but, like, I don't mean to kill you. I'm not trying to kill you, actually. I just want you to know how mad I am. And I'm like,
oopsies, you're dead.
Oopsies. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
Maybe use your words. I don't know.
Maybe. That man has so many problems.
Yeah.
So Sera realizes, like, how serious what Attes says is, and she listens to him, which I'm proud of her because she doesn't like to listen to people typically, and she uses her ether to compel Kolis and Nyktos to stop fighting. So, like, just think about how strong she is that she can compel, like, two of the strongest primals to stop fighting. And then
Can I get some of that ether to, like, stop my kids from fighting? Because that'd be great. It's like, can I compel you children to stop fighting? That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Right? Just like a little timeout for a few minutes. That would be great. Yeah. And then she, like, pulls a poppy and puts a dagger to her throat, which I'm like, oh, I've seen this one before.
Seen this movie.
And I've seen this move before. It is usually very effective. So Nyktos immediately stops, asks her to put the dagger down. Kolis, like, appears to have stopped fighting, but then somehow, like, moves really fast, gets the dagger from Sera, stabs Nyktos in the heart with it, and I'm like, okay. Two takeaways. One, Sera can use compulsion since she's a primal. We're going to just bear with me on this. We also know Castile can use compulsion. Ooh, right? So does that tie into him being a descendant of a primal, such as Attes, which we are, like, so convinced is real? I'm going to be so disappointed if he's not.
You are stuck on that theory. That's your ride or die theory.
So it is one of my ride or die theories. And then second, we see, right, like, Sera threatening to slit her throat just like Poppy did, which we also have a theory, right, that I think we talked about in the last episode, and we're going to talk about more today, is Satoria's soul potentially being in Poppy. So if that's the case, Satoria saw Sera put a dagger to her throat to get them to stop fighting. And then when Poppy does it in the Blood Ash timeline, is that because she's seen it be effective before? Just throwing it out
Or
there.
was that technically Satoria doing it both times?
Ooh,
Like taking over.
I like that, right?
Ooh,
Because she does
that
do
could be
that a
fun.
lot in this book.
Yeah.
So, well, then Sarah starts to lose her shit at Ash being stabbed or Nyktos being stabbed. I mean, rightfully so. Your husband's stabbed. It's not a great situation.
I mean,
Attes
he's
is
like
trying
going to town. He's like really like very,
like
very stabby.
very stabby
Like,
aggressively.
ugh.
Attes is trying to calm her down because he's like, well, the Shadowstone blade won't kill him. And I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong, but also
It's pretty gruesome.
it's, and like, I don't want my husband stabbed.
Yeah.
Just
like,
in general.
Stop.
And but then he's like, Kolis will keep stabbing him and kill him if you keep screaming. And then there's also this mention how Sera feels a blow to her chest every time Kolis stomps on the dagger in Nyktos' heart, which makes me wonder, is that something tied to being a heartmate? Like,
Mhm.
can you feel the other person's pain?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
if so,
totally.
I got a lot of questions and a lot of other theories that are going to become very unhinged at some point. So then Attes finally gets Kolis to realize that Sera is dying. Because I mean, they're just two men fighting, and they don't realize,
Yeah.
like, hey, this woman that we both supposedly love is literally close to death.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Satoria is dying to Kolis, which causes him to actually stop attacking Nyktos, and then he takes Sera to see Thanos.
So let's dive into what happens with Kolis and Sera when they're with Thanos. So Thanos is aware that Sera is the consort to Nyktos, but Kolis tells him, like, you know what, Nyktos isn't a threat to anyone, and Thanos, you should worry more about my wrath than like anybody else's. So it kind of makes us wonder, like, what has Kolis done to Thanos in the past? Like, he clearly has like a history with this guy, and it's just like, I don't know what's going on there. And then Kolis then insists that Sera cannot die, of course, naturally. So Thanos is like, I suggest you try and make her like a revenant. And Kolis claims like that's not possible. He's like, I can't risk her soul being stolen away in the rebirthing process. And that's when I think Thanos realizes Sera is Satoria. Like, why would he care so much about her soul? There you go. And Kolis says, he's like, I'm holding her soul in Sera's body, but he's unsure how much longer he can, given on how close to death Sera is. So then Kolis threatens to destroy Thanos' entire court if Sera dies. So, like, no pressure. It's like, hey, save her or everyone you know and love are gone. They're dead. And you too. And so Thanos is like, all right, yep, gotcha, no problem. Takes her into the sea and mentions how Nyktos once took something that belonged to him. And so it's like, uh-oh, are you referencing Sion and Rahar? But he finds no joy in this. You know, he's like, I don't like what's about to happen. So, but, you know, we got to do it because, you know, Kolis is going to destroy everyone I love if we don't. So apparently here, water is the source of all life and healing. So the Siren, which is like little mermaids basically, carry this source within them, all life and healing. So it's a gift that heals kind of like the water does. Is this why we all love the beach? Is this why we love water? Water is healing, perhaps?
It's true.
So I think so. So Thanos can feel the embers of the primal power in Sera, and he also says they are too strong for a mortal, and that's what you are, or were. So that kind of makes us wonder then, like, does Thanos know that Sera was becoming the true primal of life before it happens later in the book? I think so. I think he has this feeling. And Thanos also mentions that you have always been his weakness, haven't you? Another reference then to what Sir Holland said to Sera. But who is Thanos referring to in this instance? Because it could be both Kolis or Nyktos. We don't know exactly, but always been the weakness. So Thanos then also says what truly ails Sera cannot be circumvented, only delayed, meaning she's going to eventually die. So like when she like ascends like or goes through that process, like she's going to die. And that's when the Siren start breathing into her mouth one by one, which honestly reminds me of in the movie Hook, when like Peter Pan goes like underwater and like the mermaids come to like give him air, which is kind of the sense like they are giving her air, but they're giving her life and literally giving their own lives. So then every single Siren that comes up to like give her life dies. It's like they're sacrificing themselves. And then they're just like all floating in the water afterwards. And you're like, oh shit. All these people died.
I know. And I imagined it like this Titanic
Yeah,
after the
there's
boat like float, like you just come up and they're just everywhere and it's not great.
not
Yeah.
great.
And Sarah is really pissed because this entire series, she has not wanted anyone to die for her. And so she hates that they died for her. And Coles is like, you don't have a choice. If you're really Satoria, then you should know that. And I'm like, what does that mean?
That
Like,
sucks.
that sucks, right? Like, I get that he's willing to go to like whatever lengths to keep her alive, but is this another breadcrumb? Like, I feel like there's more to what he's done with Satoria that we don't know.
Hmm.
And then Colas also claims that Sarah doesn't look exactly like Satoria because she had fewer freckles. That's an oddly specific thing. Her face was
Hmm.
heart-shaped, and her hair was like polished garnet in the sun. And that's when I was like, I don't love knowing that Satoria had red hair. I don't love that because that makes me further convinced that Poppy has Satoria's soul, or is
Yeah.
Satoria reincarnated?
Yeah, 100%. Because they kept talking about how, like, you should look like her. And it's like, well, it sounds like the only person that really does look like her is Poppy. Oh,
Don't
and
love
by
that
the
for
way,
Poppy.
right, yeah. It's like,
So then Sarah, because she's stabby, and we love that about her, stabs
Yeah.
Colas close to his heart, but then the wound stops bleeding almost instantaneously. She tries to run from him. He grabs her by the hair and punches her, and that's like one of the first of like many physical assaults that Sarah experiences at the hands of Colas. And
You
what's
don't punch things you love. You don't do that.
no,
No.
his definition of love is super fucked up.
Yeah.
And what's really weird about it is he can't seem to stop himself from doing it. Like you mentioned this before, it's like he doesn't have accountability or he doesn't have control over his actions. But then like he feels really bad about it after it happens. Like he's like, "Well, I didn't mean to do it. Your behavior made me do it." And I'm like, "What? What? This is
Mm-mm.
crazy."
Mm-mm.
And then later, he has like his hands around her, choking her, and he doesn't even realize he's doing it until she says, "You're about to kill me again." And all it felt like to me was like such good examples of gaslighting, right? Where it's like, "Oh, I'm like, you're making me do this to you. Like, I don't want to do this to you." And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate you so much.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it can get worse.
Of course.
I'm like, it can't
Can't
get
get
worse. Like,
worse.
he's punched her in the face. He just choked her. He just made people die for her. He just about killed her husband. And then he uses compulsion on Sarah, telling her she can't talk back and she can't fight him. And I immediately got very, very worried about what else he was going to do to her while she was under compulsion. Like, I was like sick to my stomach reading it because I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
was
what was
like,
going to happen.
ooh, are you about to get rapey? Because,
I know.
Ooh.
I was just like, oh, I don't love this. And then we also learn that Colas calls her Solus, which he says means my soul, and does have another meaning, which we'll talk about later. But I'm like, I don't think she likes that either.
No, she doesn't want to be your soul. She's not yours.
No, no, not yours.
No, hands off. Ugh. So, speaking of hands off, when the compulsion is finally lifted, Sarah is then trapped in like this really grand, like gilded cage, but like a cage is a cage. And she knows that Kolis is likely going to treat her like one of his favorites, but will likely want to touch her because of having Satoria's soul. So she's like, okay, I can see that you're looking at me a lot like how Tavius used to before he would sexually assault her. And you're like, great, that's lovely memories to come back to. But like horrifying for her to think about like what's likely to come and like feel completely powerless, especially with Colas having the ability to use compulsion on her at any time. Like that does not sound like a good situation. Causes her to start to honestly feel like she's losing control, but she's able to calm herself because she's like, you know what, I need to keep up my strength. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to get through this, which like you really feel like proud of her in that moment where it's like, okay, she's going to keep going. She's like, she knows this is going to suck, but she's going to fight through it. And then we see Sarah realize that she can't even stomach trying to seduce Colas. And she's just like, I have to make him fall in love with me so I can kill him. But she's like, I just can't do that to myself or to Nyktos. And she literally just screams like, fuck the greater good. Which again, so proud of her in this moment. I'm like, yes, go queen. Like she spent her entire life doing what was best for others and like not even having to think twice about what was best for her. And it's like super refreshing to see her consider herself first now in the situation and what she wants. And then she goes snooping around her cage and she finds a trunk of glass dildos. What? What? And so did not expect that at all. And well, she doesn't even call them dildos. She calls them glass cocks. And you're like, we know it's a dildo, honey. Also glass. Yeah. Ow. Like,
ow, right?
Ow.
I have questions. Ooh. And there was like a lot of them.
There's a lot
how many do you need?
I mean, do they all look different? Like, were some of them like swirly whirly or like have
in
ridges?
My head, they were all different colors and different sizes and like shape. Well, not shapes, but like...
Imagine being the glass blower for the cock. It's like a different kind of blowjob. Like, because you're blowing and it becomes a penis and you're like, is this the opposite side of a blowjob? But, you know.
It's the blowjob no one wants.
Right? Yeah, so... And then you have to do the details on the cock, right? So they're just like... Oh, I'm getting too far into this, I guess. But then she also kind of like... she turns it into a weapon by breaking it. She's like, oh, a glass cock. And now it's gonna like shank somebody like with it. And you're like, okay, that's one way to use it, I guess.
Pain and pleasure.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Yikes.
And then fucking Callum shows up. So we hated Callum before this book. We hate him even more now. We might understand him slightly better, but we still really hate him, and we'll continue to refer to him as fucking Callum because I don't know how else to refer to him. Yeah. So it was really glorious when she stabbed him in the throat with a broken glass cock or dildo and then continued to stab him with it. It reminded me of when Poppy killed Lord Mazine and started chopping him up.
But with the glass like, I'm sorry, that's like such like... She's stabbing him with a glass dildo.
You're never going to forget it. You're never gonna forget it.
Oh God, I love it.
I think she stabs him in the cock too with it.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Ouch.
I think he deserved it.
Oh yeah, he for sure deserves it. Yeah.
Well, and then she stabs another god with it when she tries to escape the room. And she's probably covered in blood right now, and she's
running around with glass cocks.
Right? Stabbing people. She's trying to find where Nyktos is being held. She comes across a bunch of chosen who are wearing like white robes and veils. They scream when they see her. I mean, like, rightfully so. She's covered in blood and she's carrying a sword at this point that she stole from the god that she shanked with the glass cock.
With the cock. She upgraded to a sword.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's not like the most welcoming sight.
No.
And then she runs into another chamber where the only way I could describe it is like an orgy is happening based on like what you see. And then she finds another room where a woman is feeding from a man who is not enjoying it. And then that man later becomes a craven. Another wonderful problem Kolis has created. Mm-hmm. And so if you think about it, it makes sense why like the Ascended and the Revenants are loyal to Kolis. He has created both of them. And he's created cravens. Or his, like, is the byproduct of creating them.
Yes,
so
he thinks he's creating life.
Correct. When he's really creating death.
Yeah. That's all he can do, because he's naturally just, the primal of death. That's
correct.
What he does.
So, unfortunately, Sera is captured by some guards. They use a pressure point, or actually Elias does, to knock her out. And when this happens, she dreams of swimming in her lake and seeing a wolf watch over her. And I was like, they're hermates. They're dream walking. And I'm like, this is the first time they're dream walking, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah. You're like,
so.
But then Sera wakes up, and she's in her gilded cage again. And Kolis is there and tells her that she's not a prisoner, but a guest. And I'm like, okay, but we keep guests in cages? Okay, sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, if I'm a guest, can I leave? No. And then Kolis has apparently been watching her sleep, which is super duper creepy. Like, stop. And it gets even more bizarre when he's like, I'm sorry for hitting you again. And it's like, dude, like, what? And it like isn't made aware that she tried to escape. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, stop hitting her, number one. She's trying to get out of here. Like, leave her alone. And it's like, how many times can like Satoria try to escape and now Sera tries to escape? It's like, maybe that's a hint that they're not really a guest and that they want to leave. He can't take a hint. Can't take a hint. No. And he also happens to believe that he was good to his so-called favorites like Ios, and that they were unfortunately the ungrateful ones. And I'm like, you're literally insane and like gaslighting the shit out of everybody. Like, no, we are not happy to be treated this way. Stop it. Anyway, so then after Kolis leaves, Sera finds the key that she had flung under the bed earlier, and she's like, I need to hide this thing. Where should I hide it? And then she mentions a little key thing here. She can't remember her last menstruation cycle. She's like, was that a month ago? Like, I'm so terrible at keeping track of it. And I'm like, oh my God, is she pregnant? Is she pregnant already? Like with the twins? Or like, I don't know. Like, we know eventually she has kids, right? She has Iris and Malik at some point. Oh my God, could she be pregnant during stasis?
I think she is.
Oh my God. And she just like wakes up one day and children are born. Or
can you imagine?
It's like 51st Dates. Remember Drew Barrymore's character like wakes up and one day she's like, I'm pregnant? What? Huh? And it's like all
another day she wakes up, her kids are like older.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell? So who knows? Maybe that's what's gonna happen to Sera. But first things first, it's like she's like, I need to hide this key, and she hides it like literally with the tampons and stuff because she's like, no man is gonna look in here, which is true. Yep. That's where you're gonna hide your stuff. And then additionally, she knows Kolis is going to be in love with her if he's convinced that she's Satoria. So she's like, I need to figure out a way to like use that to get freedom to get to Nyktos. Like, that's my new goal. Like, I'm going to use my Satoria stuff to get to Mamayam. And then fucking Callum shows up, of course, now that he's all like cleaned off from his dildo getting smashed into his face and stuff. And he's fine, of course, because, you know, he's just like, you can't kill him.
Can't die.
Can't die. And he's like, you know
what?
what?
Drinking blood when you need it.
Right? Seriously. But Callum shows up and tells her to take a bath and change into some clean clothes. And he makes it clear to her that he knows Ezra is now the queen with her consort, Marisol. And he's like, maybe I should go pay them a visit if you don't listen to me. So threatening her a bunch, especially since the wards that have been placed around Wayfair Castle like won't keep Callum out since he's already been invited inside. So I'm like, don't invite a vampire inside. What?
Are those? Oh God, this just hit me. Are those wards the wards that we learn about in Blood and Ash around the castle?
Yes.
Like,
right?
Are those the original wards that Nyktos placed?
I feel like it. That makes sense.
I wonder if they are. I assume they were new ones.
Well, I don't know. But apparently if you've been invited inside, like, it doesn't matter, which Callum already has. That sucks.
Great.
Not good news. Not good news, no. And it turns out Callum has been watching Sera for years at the request of Kolis. I'm like, great. However, Kolis doesn't know that Callum told Sera's mother how to kill a primal. And Sera remembers that. And she mentions this to Callum, and he like freaks out. She's like, maybe I should tell Kolis how you did this. And he's like, well, shit. But he ones up her again and says, I will kill any servant who enters your room if you attack me or interrupt their tasks. And all of these servants that come in are chosen ones. And he like literally kills one of them right away just to prove a point. And so it's like, uh-oh. Like, he's kind of got you there. Like, if you just don't listen to him or do something he doesn't like, he's going to kill all these people. And it'll be your fault. You're like, shit. She doesn't like people dying for her. So, yeah, right? Fucking call.
I mean, who does, right?
Yeah.
So,
no.
After Sera takes a bath, a hawk flies into the room and it turns into Attes. And I, like, lost my shit because I did not see that coming.
Attes? Hawkthorn?
Hawkthorn?
Hawk.
See?
I feel you. It's not that crazy of a theory now.
It has to be real. It's not. It has to be real. If not, I'm going to be so disappointed. So let's dive into what we learned from this visit with Attes. So supposedly, Sera killing Thad forced Ken's hand to attack the Shadowlands, which is what Kolis wanted. Okay, I get that. Ken was supposed to capture Sera, but not before he leveled the Shadowlands. He's very vengeful. I get that. He's also an asshole. Get that too. Attes took Sera to stop that from happening, and the attack ended as soon as she was taken. And I'm like, so
you're a good
thank
guy?
you?
Thanks. Yeah, like
I was just like, okay. Attes was in his hawk form in the dying woods and helped save Sera from the shades. So this is like the second time he's helped her. All primals can shift. So I'm like, you know what that means? So many things this means, right?
so many things.
So many things this means. But they cannot sense one another in their nota forms, which I think is really an interesting thing for us to remember.
Yes.
He does confirm that the wolf Sera saw after she was taken was Nyktos, but Kolis couldn't tell it was him.
Because he can't sense them.
Because he can't sense them. Attes knew Sera was brought to the Shadowlands when she brought the hawk and the red wolves back to life. Because it was something new. This is something new we've not heard talked about. Is the Chora? Cora?
Cora?
Chora. We'll go with Chora.
Sure.
Which is an extension of the primal that takes a nota shape. I feel like that's going to be really important later.
Yeah.
The Elysium used to be full of these when Ethos reigned, but it's impossible now under Kolis. Most primals have lost all their choras. But the ones that exist can do so for centuries. And even if the primal they're bonded to enters Arcadia, which feels like another big breadcrumb.
Yeah. There's like so many hints in there. Like, what does this mean?
Exactly. There's something going on there, right? And then Attes knew what Ethos did before Kolis or Nyktos because Ethos told him. And this is when I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, what? You knew? You knew?
You, what?
And you didn't
So
do
Attes and
anything.
Ethos were prevented from telling Nyktos about putting the embers of life in Sera's bloodline along with Satoria's soul by the RA. I feel like I have so many thoughts on them. They didn't want Ethos to tell Nyktos what he did because it would mess with the fates, and the RA did not like to be fucked with. And I'm like, I understand that, but you fuck with literally everyone.
Yes.
So
yes. And they're gonna be really mad when they find out you fucked with them, because they will find out.
And then they'll fuck with you more and other people. Yes. And I'm just like, I don't understand. So then we also learn that the bones of Sera's current gilded cage are bones of the ancients, which is similar to what we saw at the end of A Soul of Ash and Blood. We still have a lot of questions of where all these deity bones are coming from. Like, do you buy them at the store? Right?
Do you get them on Amazon?
Do they come to you? Just like, I need 10 ancient bones. Where do they come from? And we learned that a god would die from a skin prick, and they can put a primal into years-long stasis. So this feels like another further confirmation that Castiel is a primal because he gets cut with one, and he doesn't die.
Yeah.
So
he's just like, ow, that hurt, but he's
still alive. Mm-hmm. So, and then we learn that Nyktos is imprisoned by these bones and heavily guarded. I'm like, that does not sound great for Nyktos or Sera at this point.
Cool. Great. So that's going to be hard.
That's going to be not great.
That's going to be not so good. And we find out also that only the primal of life and the primal of death can destroy the bones of the ancients. But again, where are these ancient bones coming from? So we got to go track them down and find them and then destroy them? Okay. So Nyktos is apparently being held in the Carcers, which is near a mountain range south of the city of the gods. And Attes is only loyal to the true primal of life, which was Athos, and now is Sera, since she contains the embers of life in her. And we're like, so you are loyal to her, but you did all this fucked up shit. That doesn't sound like
a funny way of showing it.
It's a funny way of showing it. Yeah, I was like, okay. Like, I think you need to have a rule book of what actually this means. Like, loyalty means this, not this. Just saying. So then Attes also alludes to Kolis killing his children, but we don't really get any more details on that. So just kind of like a dead end. No pun intended. But you're just like, And then Attes claims that what resides in Sera, referring to Satoria's soul, is the only one who can kill Kolis and end all of it. Further making us confident that, yes, Satoria's soul then is also in Poppy later. So if Sera were Satoria reborn, then she would look identical to her. And instead, Just Satoria's soul was placed inside of Sera, which is different than I think what Athos had planned. So just kind of like, you almost got there, but not quite. It's like a... So this means that when Sera dies, Satoria's soul will die with her, but making it like it's just like stuck inside the body and just like lost forever. So it's not really like Satoria reborn.
That sounds horrible.
Because you're like, yeah, I'm like, that sounds sucks. So she's stuck in a vessel and can't get out. It doesn't even get to be reborn. Vessel. A dead vessel. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that sucks.
And she can't go to the veil. Like she's just, I mean, she's trapped like she is now, I guess.
I mean, yeah. But I guess she's like in a living thing now. I don't know. I don't think it's any better, honestly. It just still sucks for Satoria. And then that also means that Sera is not the weapon, officially, that Athos believed he created. So then Sera won't be able to even kill Kolis. And it's like, what was the fucking point? She can't even kill him anyway.
Of all of it.
Of all of it, yeah. So Attes does believe, he's like, Sera, don't even try to kill Kolis because it's not worth the risk, honestly, to you or to Satoria's soul. Because, like, again, we'll just, like, lose both of you and there's no point. And Sera then orders Attes to go back to Nyktos once he's free and to help him gain allies against Kolis, which Attes pledges to do. But, again, with Attes, you never really know what he's actually going to do. Like, he'll say one thing and then kind of twist it and go a different way. And you're like, okay. But will you do this for me? Will you actually, like, you pledged your loyalty to me, and I'm telling you to do it, but don't do it in some weird backwards way. But Attes is Attes. He then also mentions that Satoria's name can be translated as my pretty poppy. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Are you joking my face? I literally was like, oh my God, Stephanie, it's Poppy. It's Poppy. Like, Poppy has Satoria's soul because Satoria is translated to my pretty Poppy. And you're like, it was crazy.
And well, then you think of the song that they sing when she's, I'm just like,
all the pieces are clicking together. All of them. All of them. And then Attes also promises to Satoria that he will save her this time. But again, what does that mean? Sure. I'll believe it when I see it, you know?
I was like, are you besties with Nyktos and like Kieran? Because that is really big.
So vague. So vague. So then after Attes leaves, Sera decides that she will take Nyktos' promise to really live once he takes the embers. So ascending to the primal of life and like take care of Kolis, do all this stuff. He will have to find a way then to restore his cardia and let himself be open to love in the future. Even though the thought of like Nyktos loving someone else like hurts her like deeply, she wants him to find happiness after she's gone because she just loves him that much. And you're like, see? That's true love and true meaning. Not hurting people. Choking them unless they want to be choked. That's different. You know, that's kinky choking. That's fun.
Yeah.
She does not want to be choked to the inch of her life and, you know, be attacked and hurt. No.
Or just even touched or looked at by Kolis.
Yeah, no thanks.
So then we see Sera and Nyktos dreamwalk again, but they once again don't seem to realize what's happening, even though they do talk to each other this time. They both keep thinking they dreamed of the other person. And like Nyktos is like, why are you in my dreams? Sarah's like, this is my dream. Why are you here? And then we get our first spicy scene between Nyktos and Sera where they have sex while dreamwalking and don't believe it's real. And
can you get pregnant from dreams?
In dreamwalking? I would assume so because it's real. I mean, she does mention that she feels like dampness in her thighs afterwards, so I would assume so. I think she was already pregnant before Kolis took her.
I think she already, yeah. I think she was.
But potentially, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
So Sera says, so don't miss me, love me instead. And Nyktos replies, I do, fate Sera, I do. And then he mentions how this dream feels real and almost thinks and then he cuts himself off. He used to do that in like A Light in the Flame where he would start to say something about like how she's important to, and then like, well, and then he'd stop himself and I'm like, for the love.
Just finish your goddamn sentence. Come on.
Exactly. I'm like, I know you were going to say heartmate. Why did you stop yourself? And I get that you don't believe that could happen because you don't have your cardia and like all these things, but also finish your damn sentence.
Mm-hmm. I still think that the second that they realize they're heartmates, his cardia is going to like grow back.
Right. I agree. So towards the end of the dreamwalking, Sera's injuries from Kolis appear, which reminds me a lot of like when Poppy and Castile were dream walking, and then she started to see like towards the end of it like some of his injuries. And Nyktos becomes very, very angry because he says it's his fear, even in his sleep, and his fear for her consumes him. And then Sera wakes up. I'm like, that's not a great way to end it. I wish we could have
No.
ended it after sexy time.
Yes, right? Happy sexy time. And then, of course, then Kolis comes in. And you're like, great, this dick again. Not glass dick, though. But
I
but
wish she
Kolis
could have
dick.
attacked him with a glass stick.
Right? That'd be hilarious.
I
What
feel
if
like he
they
needs
make,
it.
oh, out of the bones of the ancients, they make a dildo.
And that's how he dies.
And that's how he
I could get on board
dies.
with that. I
That'd be
could
fun.
so get on board with that.
That'd be good. That'd be good. So Kolis he comes to see Sera, and he kind of tells her some information that we're a little freaked out about. That cravens are a unfortunate side effect of creating the Ascended. And you're like, well, yeah, that's a pretty bad, like making a zombie is a pretty bad accident side effect. But it's all about the balance. You got to maintain the balance of giving life, and it's like,
It's not life.
It's not life. It's still death. And he gets angry when Sera wants to know how he ascends the chosen. And he responds that just because he cannot make a god like his brother doesn't mean he can't give life. And I'm like, but it does, actually, because he's like so deluded. Like, he's so delulu that he refers to the Ascended as his children, making him the father of the vampires, I guess. Like, do we?
Not great.
No. And that does not bode well for Poppy then later, like having to like kill all of these vampires in Solus, which also I was like, when they mentioned Solus, I'm like, the name of the town is Solus and you're Solus.
And right? And all the vampires are going to be loyal to him because he's like their daddy.
Vampy
But
daddy?
not a good daddy.
No. Vampire daddy. The king of the vampires, basically. He's not even king of death anymore. He's just king of the vampires. So, but again, he thinks he's giving them life. And I'm like, this does not mean what you think it means. Like, mm-mm. And so then the Shadowland forces have apparently not left the border of Dalos, and they remain in the Bone Lands. And the Bone Lands were actually named that by Athos and supposedly contain actual bones of dragons that were slaughtered by the ancients. We're like, okay. So now we know that there's like dragon bones. Can we use that as a weapon?
Right?
Does that count as like an ancient bone? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I'm curious. Maybe.
Might be able to use it. So
Is
Kolis,
there dragon blood in there? No, dragon. That's
Right?
dragon blood. It'd be
No.
different.
but I'm sure the bones of the dragons can still do something, right?
Probably.
Well, I guess we'll find out. And Kolis then says he allegedly like doesn't want a war. Right. Sure. Sure. Because he's like, technically, he's like, I don't plan on starting a war that I'm not going to win. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. Or like one that would apparently like leave everywhere in either realm like uninhabitable. And you're like, okay, buddy, you're so full of yourself. Oh my God. And then Kolis says he wants to know why Sera asked Callum about Nyktos. Like, why? Why do you care about him? Like, why do you care where he is? And she's like, I'm just fond of him because, he was kind to me and like kept me safe. And Kolis honestly starts to lose his shit until like Sera claims that Nyktos never wanted her. And we're like, okay, this is sort of true. Like,
right?
Ish. So she tells him how Nyktos only wanted the embers and didn't even know about Ethos placing the embers in her. And then Sera also claims to tell him that Nyktos only feels duty and honor towards her, but he doesn't love her. And Kolis, being the freak, weird guy he is, he's like, he wants to know, like, did you guys have sex? Did you have sex? Like, did you do it? And she's honest about it, but she's like, yeah, but, he's not the only person I've slept with. She's like, girl gets around, come on. Like, I got needs. And I don't know if Kolis is happy to hear about that, honestly.
No,
he's like,
he's not happy.
he's like, so you slept with Nyktos and how many other people? And it's like, numbers don't matter. Don't ask me my number, okay?
I feel like
matter.
he's like, give me a list because they're all about to die.
Yes, exactly. Who have you slept with? What's their social security number? I'm going to murder them. And you're like, ugh. And then he also like does not believe that Nyktos isn't in love with Sera. He's like, primals do not kill for another person unless love is involved. He's like, no, he loves you. He loves you. But it's like, no, he doesn't. And then every life Kolis has taken apparently has been out of love, is what he claims. And it's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I love you so much. I've killed all these people for you. That's not how love works. No. What's wrong with you?
No one wants that.
No, go home, Kolis. No, you're in timeout. It's wrong.
He needs to be in timeout for a very long time. So then Sera tells Kolis about Nyktos having his cardia removed, which surprises Kolis because it is kind of drastic. Yeah. And then when Kolis shares that Nyktos is in stasis and is taken to the ground, don't love that for him. Mm-mm. We also learn that Shadow Stone was created by Dragonfire, not Drakenfire, and it's what I almost threw up when I read this. Became of any life form burned by Dragonfire. And so Sarah's like, I'm just walking on bodies.
Dead bodies?
Bodies. It's not really great. No. We also learn that Shadowstone weakens ether, but does not completely block it. It absorbs the energy and doesn't allow the gods to pull as much of the essence from the environment. I feel like this is going to be really important later.
Yeah.
Kolis knows that Nyktos fears becoming like him. He made sure of it. And I'm like, what does that mean? What did you do to him?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about, we know that supposedly Nyktos was one of Kolis' favorites, so I'm very curious what all was done to Nyktos. I also kind of
being a favorite
want to know too.
Thing.
No.
Yeah.
And then Kolis believes that Nyktos did have his cardia removed, but he does not believe Sera is telling the truth about not loving him because of the marriage imprint and how she reacts about talking about him. And then I love this because I feel like she's just so good at playing the game. She's like, I do love Nyktos, but I'm not in love with Nyktos. Loving someone isn't as strong as or as irrevocable as being in love. And Kolis is like, well, I'm in love with Sera and Satoria. And she's like, well, prove it. Release Nyktos. Prove you would do anything for the woman that you're in love with. And Sarah's like, I can't fall in love with you if I'm worried about Nyktos. I want to fall in love, Kolis, because I don't know what it feels like to be loved and to be in loved. And I'm like, dude, you were
master manipulator. Love
doing
it.
So good. So good at this, right?
So good.
And then she's like, I won't fight you, Kolis. I won't try to escape or run from you once you release Nyktos. And I'm just like, damn, queen.
Damn.
But also, this is another example of her sacrificing herself and her safety, both physically and mentally, to protect the ones that she loves. She does it so many times in all 3 books that we've read.
Yeah. And she literally even talks about just going numb. She's like, I am not me. I need to become that person I was trained to be and disassociate myself. And you're just like, oh God, that sucks. I hate that for her.
It's just heartbreaking.
But she does it so well. She does it so well. And you're like, oh girl, I think you're going to convince him. Maybe. So then the next day, fucking Callum comes back to watch her eat. Rude. And we learned that he was the first revenant. And there are no others like him. And we're like, aha, now I know what you are. But why are you the way you are? And Callum also doesn't believe Sera is Satoria. He's like, don't believe it. And he smiles when he learns that Sera has seen Kolis in his true form. Because he's like, that means you've seen death. Because true death, because supposedly no one gets to see that and live long afterwards. So he's like, oh, you've seen death, you're going to die soon. So I'm happy about that. I'm like, weirdo. And then the next day, Sera is all dolled up wearing a sheer dress, of course, naturally. And it just seems to be the only clothing that's provided her by Kolis. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And he comes in planning to conduct some business, and other gods come into the room too, but Sera is not allowed to engage with them. And some of the gods just, look at Sera out of curiosity. And some of them are lusting over her because she's practically naked. And Kolis is doing the same thing too, giving her yucky bedroom eyes the whole time. But then Kolis decides to try and bait one of the gods. Be like, why are you looking at her? Why are you looking? What you doing? And he makes some very inappropriate sexual comments, which offends Kolis, apparently. And he literally implodes the god. 1 second the god is standing there, the next his entire body is like crumbling in on itself and he's just like a puddle of goo on the floor. And you're like, ew. But then another god, Demetria, comes into the room. And Kolis is like, I gotta go take care of business. AKA, he's so horny, turned on by what Sera is wearing. He's like, I'm gonna go masturbate. Apparently.
And by killing people, I think, too.
Yeah.
I think that gets him off.
He's turned on.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's like he's turned on by killing people, turned on by what she's wearing, but he like doesn't want to touch her yet. So he's like, I'm gonna go take care of it. But Demetria is left in there with Sera. And she literally comes up to the cage and like whispers to her, like, I know the rumors are true because I was there when you were crowned the consort of the Shadowlands. And it's like, ooh. So are you on my side? Are you on my team?
Are you not? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What are the rumors? Tell me.
Yeah.
Spill the tea.
Spill that tea.
So then Kolis comes back, much more relaxed.
Ooh.
Gross.
Ooh.
And then our favorite, Ken, comes to visit and talk about the forces from the Shadowlands who are refusing to move until Nyktos is released. And there are 3 Drakens with them, including Nyktos. However, only half of the forces are in the Bonelands. The other half are on the border of Ken's court. Well, maybe you shouldn't have attacked the Shadowlands, Ken, and then you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah.
And then Ken tries to convince Kolis that they should attack the Shadowlands, like the forces or just the Shadowlands in general. He's just like, let me go take care of this for you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
And Sera speaks up and she reminds Kolis that, like, well, you don't want to start a war and how anything couldn't happen between us if there was a war. And I'm like, oh, queen,
girl.
Well done. So then Kolis orders Ken to stand down and not attack unless provoked. And I wanted to be like, Kolis, you need to define what provoked means to Ken because he is not very smart.
True.
Like I feel
a
like
fly
he
is going to land on him and he'd be like, war. He'd be like,
exactly, provoked.
Yeah.
And then this is the worst part. Fucking Kolis tells Ken that if Sera turns out not to be Satoria, then he can have her afterwards, alluding to like what Ken wants to do to like Sera sexually. And I'm like, first of all, women are not property. Second of all, we do not sexually harass or sexually assault literally anyone. And the fact that like, ugh, so gross.
Yucky.
But Ken brought a gift. It's Rain. And he's in really rough shape. So it's not a good gift. I mean, I guess it is a good gift for Kolis, a bad gift for everyone else that likes people. So apparently Rain tried to follow Ken when he left the Bonelands and demand to be taken to Nyktos. And Kolis is like, Rain, your father was an excellent tracker and able to move unseen. So you should have been able to. Like, you wanted to get caught. Well, clearly.
Why?
So that's when we learn that Rain can start using thought projection on Sera. Which
So cool.
We've seen in the previous 2 books. Like, there were times where he would talk to Nyktos. Like, he wouldn't talk to Nyktos, but, like, they seemed to know what like, each other wanted. It's because he was using this. And he tells her via this thought projection to use the essence to bring down the entire palace. Kind of like you almost did after you found Nyktos with Veses. And I was like, do we need to bring that up? Do we need to remind
like,
her?
That's
Are
a
you,
sore subject.
Are you poking the bear? But I'm also like, how? I get what he was trying to do, but like, what would that accomplish? Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
right? Like, that wouldn't kill him.
He can't die. I don't think Sera would get out.
Yeah. Well, maybe it would break her cage.
It might.
Cause some crazy distraction and stuff, but
But like, she's still gonna be able to get to Nyktos. Like, we don't even know where he's at really at this point. We know he's in the carcers. That's hard to get to, and it's a horrible prison. But I was just like, I feel like it was not a well thought out plan, Rain.
No.
So she doesn't do that. Instead, she convinces Kolis that letting Rain go would prove he's a benevolent ruler, worth someone's loyalty. And I'm like, oh, Queen, look at you. And then while she's saying this to Kolis, Rain continues to use thought projections to tell Sera, like, I'm ready to die. Like, it's okay. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to do this. And then I threw up at this point. Not literally, but figuratively in my mouth, because Sera promises to do whatever Kolis wants if he lets Rain go and doesn't hurt him. I was like, oh, no. 0 out of 10, do not recommend.
Mm-mm.
So Kolis agrees to the deal and then says they'll share a bed tonight. And then I threw up my mouth a little bit more.
Blech. No, no, thank you.
Like at this point, I'm like terrified for her.
Yeah. Like, and if it wasn't so yucky, I'd be like, is this a one bed trope? But we don't want this one bed trope. We don't want
No.
this one. No. So then Kolis and Sera only share a bed. Nothing else happens. So I'm like, okay, well, that's good that nothing else happens, but it's still traumatizing for Sera, you know? And she awakens and she finds Eos's necklace that Rain was wearing. It's now on her pillow because Sera had claimed it was her necklace because they were like, how are you, like, why do you have this necklace? Like, you're transporting all your, like, your thoughts and info back to whoever owns it. She's like, no, it's mine. It's mine. Good trick, girlfriend. Good job. So she has the necklace now. And then she also gets to see Callum that morning, who then mentions how Sera is whoring herself out to get her way. I'm sorry. How dare you? How dare you call me a whore? She's not getting paid for this shit. But still.
And she doesn't want to be here.
And she doesn't want to be here. She's like, I'm stuck here.
Your boss is like the king of the sexual assaulters.
Right? Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. But I'm whoring myself out. Right. Okay.
But I'm the problem.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Done. And she's like, you know what? Shut up. And she uses her powers to have his own dagger stab him. And I'm like, yes. Good job. Good job. If only it was a glass dildo again. But you know what? We'll take what we can get. Stabby, stab. So then next, Kolis brings a goddess, like a single goddess, from the Primal Kella's court. And she can see into your thoughts, which is like really terrifying. So this lady, Ione, she can see all of your truths and lies. And Ione will need to drink Sera's blood, which is really to do this. And so Sera's like, no, like, I don't want that to happen. Like, I'm scared of it. Like, it's going to hurt a bunch because when Tarek fed from me, like, it was very, very painful. I can't go through that again. And then Kolis uses compulsion to make Sera allow her to feed from her. And it's just like so traumatizing to read, honestly. She's like just against her will. All this stuff is happening and she knows like she can't do anything about it. Like this goddess is going through her entire brain, all of her memories, all of her thoughts and feelings. And after it's all done, Ione confirms that Sera is carrying the soul of Sotoria. And it's like, because Sera, again, doesn't believe this. She's like, I am not Sotoria. But she's like, claiming it is. And Ione also says that Sera cares for Nyktos, but doesn't truly love him and has never been loved in return. And that Sera would do anything for that. And Kolis is in awe, of course, that it's really Sotoria. And Callum is just pissed off. He's like, nah, I don't think this is true. And then Kolis also claims that Sera's coronation as the consort was not recognized or approved by him, so it's invalid. So she's, fair game. She's up for grabs. But what I really love about this whole entire part is, like, it's clear that Ione is, like, on Sera's side. She's straight up lying through her teeth to Kolis. But, like, Kolis has to believe her. Like, there's no reason not to, right? And Sera's just like, holy shit. This lady is, like, lying for me. Like, what's her angle? Like, is she on my side? Is she on Nyktos' side? Like, what does she want from me later? So again,
and what does that mean about the Primal Kella? Is she, can we trust her?
Can we trust her? I don't know. Because you had the entire opportunity to, like, break everything apart and, like, reveal the truth about, like, Sera is not Sotoria, just has the soul. Like, literally, especially stuff about Nyktos being like, oh no, they're heartmates. Because I guarantee, like, Ione can tell that, yes, they are. So she just lies and lies and lies. And I'm like, I like you, but I don't know if I trust you, That's how I feel.
I feel like she was kind of like the Ari, like, or the Victors, like, walking the fine line. Just like,
yes,
it is her. I mean, technically, you're not wrong. She does have Sotoria's soul. Mm-hmm. And, she can't be loved by Nyktos. Also not wrong. She is desperate to know what it is to be loved. Also not wrong. I mean, is that the full picture?
Yeah.
Not really. Are we just telling you the parts that, Kolis, you want to hear? 1,000%. But I'm like, she did, like, a really good job of, like, not full on lying, but, like, also being very careful with what she said.
Yes. Very, very true. And so then after Ione and Callum leave the chamber. Kolis holds Sera. Ugh. And he's just like saying like, I need you. Like, bleh. Again, just being super creepy and yucky. And she asks again about releasing Nyktos, and he gets really, really pissed off and really mad. And he just like sinks his fangs into her. And so traumatizing to Sera, especially when she like realizes that like Kolis like literally gets off on all of this and like literally came on the back of her gown. And it's just like, ew. Like,
No, thank you.
no, like don't hold me down, stick your fangs into me, and then like do that behind literally, ugh, yuck.
Ugh.
And he apologizes for losing control. And he's like, I wanted this time to be different, and I promise this will never happen again. I'm like, isn't that like what abusers always say to their victims? You know, like every time they hurt them, they say this is the last time and I'm sorry. And it's like, maybe you're a bad guy.
Right?
Maybe.
It also makes me wonder, how many times did he do that to Satoria?
Right? Yeah.
Because like when he says like, I wanted this time to be different, I'm just like, oh, so you did this to Satoria too.
Great. Cool.
So then Attes comes back to Sera using his hawk form, and he immediately notices the bite marks on her neck, and he gets really worried. And she assures him she's okay. She's like, I'm fine, it's not a big deal. Bold-faced lies. And then he shares that Nyktos is being awakened from stasis, but it's taking longer than expected because he was incapacitated with a weapon made of the bones of the ancients. So not only is he entombed in the bones of the ancients, but we have also been stabbed with one.
Oh,
sometime
yucky.
After we went into stasis. I think when he tried to wake up. I'm like, great.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get another scene with fucking Callum. This revenant is literally the worst. The worst. So he's goading Sera about how she's not really Satoria and how he can't wait until Kolis realizes it. So he points out that Sera isn't Satoria because she doesn't look like her. And there's another reason. He's like, but he won't tell us at this point. I'm like, Ione explained why she doesn't look like her. Like, let it go, dude. And then
right. It's like we've already established this. We're done.
Correct. And then Kolis favors Callum, and he doesn't seem to react very well when Sera asks if he's worried that I'm going to replace you with Kolis. A little bit of jealousy, maybe. He also doesn't like to be called Cal, which I'm like, why is that? Is that because that's like not a great nickname, or is that because what like Satoria used to call him?
Right. Just call him Cal a bunch. Piss him off.
Right. I think that's a good idea. And then according to Callum, Kolis, this is one of my favorites, is trying to save the realms. He's the good guy, you guys.
Oh, okay.
He's the good guy.
Sure.
Or he was until he became more concerned about Satoria returning to him. And Callum also says that Kolis has only stated his personal reasons for wanting to ascend as the primal of life and death, blood and bone, but it was not the only reason. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. What?
Like, Colin, do you legitimately think Kolis is the good guy right now?
Right? It's like, are you
drink the Kool-Aid? Are you Delulu too?
Yes.
Like, what? And then he believes that Ione lied about Sera being Satoria. I mean, she skirted the truth.
Yeah.
Sera threatens to kill Callum again. The first of many times she will threaten to kill him. Mm-hmm. And a storm of anger builds inside her, which is interesting for 2 points. One, because obviously she's not supposed to be using the ether. But 2, because this entire room is Shadowstone. Like, she shouldn't be able to do this. The chandelier is starting to sway. There's like white mist. I'm like, oh, that's primal mist seeping in at the windows. And there's like a storm inside this room. Needless to say, Colin freaks the hell out. Who wouldn't freak the hell out if you're inside a room with someone and like a storm manifests?
But keep poking the bear column. Okay, sure.
But sure. I mean, he can't die, so I guess he could. And then this is kind of like a funny Kolis moment, because I do feel like this is something that parents have probably said before. Like when you walk into the room and you're like, why do all of you look like you're about to commit atrocious acts upon each other every time I see you? Why is it that you're fighting every single time?
What did you do?
why do you all hate each other so much? And I'm like, well, it's fucking Callum. I mean, obviously.
He started it.
He always starts it.
Yeah. Always, always. And Sera, again, is like, it's him. He refuses to believe that I'm Satoria. And Kolis then drops the biggest bomb ever. He's like, well, the reason why he refuses to believe it is because Satoria was Callum's sister. Excusez-moi? What? Did not see that one coming. And you're just like, I'm sorry. What? And apparently let's go back here. Yeah, so you have a sibling? And you didn't...
Huh.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
And supposedly, the last time Satoria's life was restored, she recognized Callum. But because she didn't do it this time, that's one of the reasons why Callum doesn't think it's her. He's like, no, she knew me last time. This can't be real. It's not her. And then Kolis steps up to defend Sera, and you're like, oh, okay. He argues, like, well, like reborn souls don't have memories, which is why she can't remember you. And I'm just like, all right, Kolis, you just want to believe this so badly. Like, you're willing to do anything it takes. And Sera then compares Callum to Tavius. Again, she's like, well, I've got another brother who I hate. And he's just like, how dare you compare me to that guy? Like, no way. Like, I loved my sister. And it's like,
But also pot me kettle.
Right? Yeah, it's like you're the same person. Yucks. And apparently Satoria, we learned, had 2 siblings. So she also had an older sister, Anthea, and then the younger brother, Callum. So it's like, where's Anthea? Like, where is she? What's going on with her?
Is she alive? Is she dead?
Is she revenant?
Like, what?
Yeah. And so apparently Kolis went to go visit Satoria's family after she died the first time. But her parents were so frightened by him, they went and talked to him, but only Callum wasn't afraid. And he answered all the questions about Satoria and basically how he's like, I love my sister, she was great. And Callum apparently felt responsible for Satoria's death because he was supposed to be with her when she was out picking flowers for her sister's wedding. But instead of doing that, he was out having sex. I'm like, okay. So he blames himself, basically. And he wanted Kolis to take him to Satoria to apologize. But that wasn't possible because he couldn't go to the Vale because he was alive. Like you can't go apologize to the dead when you are not dead. So basically, Callum became distraught. Maybe this is where Satoria got it from. And literally slit his own throat to kill himself. And Kolis was like, well, wow, this guy really loved his sister. Which honestly, at that point, I'm like, really? Like, you love your sister that much, you're going to kill yourself to go talk? Like, was there something fishy going on here? Honestly, at that point, I'm like, how much did you love your sister? Like Callum,
he's weird.
You in love with your sister? Like, let's be real.
I don't know, he was fucking the baker's daughter, so maybe not. I don't know.
It's just weird.
He has unhealthy obsessions with people, though. I think that's very clear.
That's very, very clear, yes. So basically, Kolis then was like, well, I can't let him die, so he gave him life. But he's different, again, from the Ascended and the other Revenants. But Kolis doesn't explain that. He doesn't explain any more of that at this point. But so we know basically he's like the first Revenant, but he's different. But how?
But can you also imagine, like, you're Satoria's parents, your daughter just died because she ran off a cliff because she was frightened by the primal of death, who then shows up at your house. He's like, hey, sorry, didn't mean to kill your daughter. I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How did they not have a heart attack on the spot and die? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then also, by the way, now your son is dead too.
Right? By the primal of death, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But now he's also alive.
That poor older sister. Way to have that suck for the oldest sister to be like, wait, so now both of my siblings are dead?
She's gonna need a lot of therapy.
Happy wedding day. Yeah, right. Oof.
So then Callum leaves the room, and Kolis tells Sera that Nyktos is in stasis, but they're trying to resolve it. And I'm like, because you did something. Cool. Mm-hmm. And Kolis has spent much of the past 2 days watching over Nyktos, which I'm like, that's really creepy. Why do you like to watch people sleep? That's creepy. And he did it, though, because he knows how much Nyktos means to Sera. And I'm like, No, I think you were probably sitting there saying really inappropriate things to your brother, to your nephew.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Or
and
doing
then
things.
or do I don't
Mm. It was a favorite.
I didn't
Yikes.
even think about that. I don't love that.
Mm.
So Kolis hates that Sera inspires so much emotion from Nyktos, and she fears Kolis, which makes Kolis want to kill Nyktos. But he's like, but I won't, because there must always be a balance. And I'm like, but you also can't control yourself.
Yeah.
And he's like, Nyktos will come out of stasis and be released in the next couple of days. And then he pushes Sera on why she's afraid of him. And so I was really proud of her because she's like, because you forced yourself on me. And he's
Number
like,
one.
you should, number one, well, one, I mean, like, if we're going way back,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, kidnapped me, tried to kill me multiple times. Then I would call like what happened when he fed from her like a sexual assault, sexually assaulted me. And he's
Hmm.
like, well, you should be over that. I apologized and promised it won't happen again. It was just an intense display of his love for her. And he lost control. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now, Colas? Like, what is wrong with you?
A lot.
Like, consent is so important. I do not care what kind of relationship you have with someone. You always have to have consent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Colas is like, I want to start anew. What can I do to make it right? And Sarah's like, I need time, which then starts to piss him off, but then he calms down. So he does like control himself a little bit. And then Colas mentions how she used the embers earlier and how he told her not to do that again or she would be punished. And I'm like, okay. He's like, this is your last warning because the embers do not belong to you, like to her. They're not hers to use. And I'm like, pot, meet kettle. They're not yours either, Colas. They belong to Ethos and Nyktos.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, do you not remember how this all started when you took them?
Hmm.
So then later, Sera worries about Nyktos and everyone else from the Shadowlands. So even though she is in a horrible situation, both mentally and physically, she is so worried about everyone else. She feels horrible what happened like between her and Colas and how that likely impacted Satoria too, because God only knows what Satoria has been through, like through her life with this man. And then
Hmm.
she becomes nauseous and starts dry heaving. And I'm like, this is our second, I think, clue about potentially that she's pregnant. And I'm like, I'm pretty convinced that she is. There's a third clue we'll get to later, but I'm pretty convinced that it's gonna happen.
As somebody who like literally puked the entire time with all my pregnancies, I'm like, yep, yep. Anytime anybody is like faint or like pukey for no reason, and by anybody I mean like females, I'm like, pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. So I think so. So now Sera is dreaming again, and she's back at her lake, but it seems a little different. She's alone at first until she says she needs to see him. And then Nyktos just like appears. So it's like she can like summon him in a way. And they both think again that they're dreaming. But Nyktos mentions how it's odd because he can sense her emotions. And Nyktos also mentions that he was awake for a period of time and like was struggling in like chains and like heard the voice of Kolis and others, which again must be referring to when he like awoke from stasis, like before Ion came. And he also remembers the injuries that she had last time in their dreams. And he remembers like what Kin said and like what Kolis claimed and how Sera like flinched then when he said Kolis' name. He's like, why did you flinch? What happened to you? Are you okay? Like what's going on? And it makes us wonder if Nyktos knows then about the deal between Kin and Kolis if Sera ends up not being Satoria. And Sera just tells him, I don't want to dream about any of that. Like, I don't want to think about that. Let's not talk about it. Like, I want sexy dream time, you know? And Nyktos basically tells her, you know, how brave she is, how loyal she is, and like more than worthy of the swords and shields of the Shadowlands. Yes. Yes, she is.
He's such the greenest of green flags.
Just the best. Kolis is the reddest of flags, and Nyktos is the greenest of flags.
Yeah.
And then Nyktos tells Sera that she needs to tell Kolis that only Nyktos can ascend her, otherwise she's gonna die. He's like, he believes that Kolis will do anything to keep Satoria alive, And Sarah's like, I don't think Kolis is going to fall for that. I don't think he's going to believe that. But Nyktos tells her she needs to summon the fates, like once Nyktos is released. And then they can also confirm to Kolis that it's true. That, like, yes, she's going to die and she needs to have Nyktos to live. And Nyktos promises that he's going to fight for her and he's going to free her and that nothing will stop him. I'm like, okay, this is good love, people. This is how we talk to people we love. Saying things that, like, you're nothing without her and that there will be nothing without her. That feels like a very big declaration of love. I'm just saying.
There are many ways to say I love you without saying I love you.
Yes. Yes. And many actions that you can take to say I love you instead of, hurting people.
And words and actions together are the most important.
Yes.
So when Sera wakes up, Kolis is there. Like, can you just imagine, like, you're laying in bed or, like, on kind of this little chase that she sleeps on sometimes, and then you, like, wake up and you're startled? Because I imagine, like, Kolis is, like, just, like, super close to her and, like, hi.
That's why I wake up with my toddlers in my face. She's just like, Mom. I'm like, oh, God. Kolis
right?
is
You
just
have, like, this visceral reaction.
Yeah, you're like, get away from me.
Well, and then he's like, what were you dreaming about? Because you smiled during your dreams. Okay, that's even creepier.
Yeah.
I cannot be held accountable for my actions while I'm asleep.
Right.
And she lies and says, like, she can't remember her dreams. And then Kolis reiterates his desire is to start anew with Sera. And says there's no limit for what he will do for her. And I do believe that, because I do believe he would kill everyone. And she's like, well, can I leave the room? And he's like, yes. And he's happy because he thinks that is a request to spend time with him. And I'm like, no, she wants out of the cage.
Yes.
So she also asks what Kolis is going to do regarding the embers. And Kolis is like, well, I plan to take them once you've, like, begun your ascension. And then I will ascend you into an ascended, a vampire. Because he's never been able to recreate what he did to Callum. And I'm like, okay, we once again need to talk about consent. We do not turn people into vampires unless they would like to become vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple. Same thing with revenants. I don't think consent people. There are probably people that would be fine with being vampires.
Yeah.
Sarah's not one of them. So once she's alone, she starts to wonder if it's possible she and Nyktos could be dreamwalking, right? Because she remembers, like, thinking about her mom and her father and how maybe they could have been heartmates, which I don't think they were. But because those dreams felt so real, and then Kolis could smell the scent of Nyktos on her.
Which is crazy.
But he didn't know, like, what that smell was, right? But she's like, well, that's impossible because Nyktos doesn't have his cardia, so we can't be heartmates. I'm like, okay, so both of you are thinking you might be heartmates. Instead of having a conversation about it in your dream walking, we just keep it to ourselves. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine. Because that's a good idea.
I know. Keeping secrets or, important things that could change, the fate of the world. Just keep those quiet into our minds. Mm-hmm. All right. So then Kolis takes Sera outside of her cage. And that's when she learns she's been with him for 3 weeks. So I'm also doing math now because I'm like, it's been kind of like a month since you've had a period. You've mentioned 2 things. It's been 3 weeks past that.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're throwing up. You haven't mentioned, like, needing to go get anything out of, your menstruation box where the key's hidden. Mm-hmm.
So, and then we see this other guard, Elias, who follows behind them. And he cautions her when it's just the 2 of them about how she speaks to Kolis because of his temper. So he's like, it's a little sign that we see him looking out for her. And then while she's walking with Kolis, she hears lots of people just, like, having sex everywhere. And Kolis is like, does that bother you? And he's like, those who can sense death give in to their desire to prove that they're alive. And he says, and I think this is, like, one of the other best Kolis lines, there are very few things that make one feel more alive than fucking. And I was like, okay. I mean, he's not wrong.
True. I guess.
But it's just, the man is so fucked up.
Yeah, there's just so many orgies everywhere all the time. You're like, is this too much? I'm not saying
Well, and I think, and
it.
well, and I think what's weird is he's just like, does this bother you? And I'm like, you got mad earlier when you found out she had sex with Nyktos and other people, and now you're walking her around people having like random sex, and you're like, are you offended by this?
Right?
What?
Yeah. It's like,
Which is it,
don't,
Kolis?
yeah, you can't have your glass dildo and eat it too.
I mean, I guess you
Or
could.
you
There's a lot of
can.
them.
There was a lot, yeah. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, Kolis, right? Like, get it straight. And then they are about to enter the council hall. And Sera becomes nervous about who is inside, but Kolis claims he'll protect her. Okay. And he sits on a throne and has Sera sit on a pillow on the floor next to him while all the other primals and gods watch. It's like she's a little tiny pet, basically, minus a leash. He probably would have
That's
put a
what
leash
I.
on her.
That's what I thought. I was like, is she like your dog
Yeah.
or your cat? Like you're just like a little. She's a little pill pet princess.
Hmm. Hmm. So then Kella approaches Kolis and wants to know about Sera since she is the consort of the Shadowlands. And she's like, and where is Nyktos? And Kolis just claims, well, Nyktos is going to be released soon, somehow, but he better show remorse for what he did. Like, he better be sorry. And Kella wants to know again, like, what will happen to Sera since this is a breach of tradition and honor. And he's like, well, I didn't sanction that coronation, so it's all a farce. Like, she's not really married. She's not his consort. Like, I never said it was okay. Even though, like, it happened in front of a bunch of witnesses. And again, he's just like, nope, didn't happen. I can do what I want. I'm not breaking tradition.
Fake
I'm
news.
fine. Fake news. Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, great. So then Kolis has Kin back up his claim that he didn't sanction the coronation when Nyktos and Sera came to see him, which we all know is a lie because if you remember correctly, like he did say like, all right, fine, whatever. But that's before he realized the whole Sartorius soul thing, you know. So then Kella asks if Sera will be released with Nyktos, and Kolis says, no, Sera's not going to return. Sera's not going to go. And Kella's like, well, does that mean she's here of her own free will? Like, she's allowed to be here? And Sera has to respond yes, even though it's a lie. And clearly, like, Kella doesn't believe any of this. But, you know, Sera has to play along because she made the whole rules of, like, if you release Nyktos, if you release Rain and don't hurt him, like, I'll do whatever you want. So she knows she's stuck. She has to, like, just keep doing that, even though she doesn't want to. And then Sera sees a chosen woman being bitten and touched by another god amongst all of the orgy stuff. And she worries that this woman didn't give consent to this. And Kolis claims they are known to each other. And Sarah's like, well, what would happen if they didn't? Like, you know, what if he was like attacking her and raping her and whatnot? Kolis like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine. And Sarah's like, you know, I think consent is a thing. Yeah, I think this is required. And she's like, well, I would just stab someone in the heart if they didn't give consent. And Kolis then points out another god who has a chosen on his lap while he's feeding from her. And she looks like she's in pain. And he literally is like goading Sera into like doing what she said she was going to do in the situation. He's like, well, here's your chance. Like, are you a person of words or of actions? Like, what are you going to do? And she does it. She like full on like stabs him. And this whole thing was a complete setup because apparently that woman was perfectly fine with what was happening. And then like literally starts screaming bloody murder after Sera killed the god that was drinking from her. And Sarah's pissed, obviously. She's like, you made me believe all of this, which was not true. Like, what the hell? What kind of game are you playing at here? And now I've killed someone who maybe was innocent. Probably not. Like, they probably
not, right? If he's hanging out with Kolis.
Yeah, it's like he's probably not a good guy anyway. But still, like, maybe didn't deserve to be killed right in that moment. Maybe. And so then we have one of the Draken, Naberius, sniff Sera, which is interesting. You're like, you smell like death. Is it going to be one of those situations again?
I
right?
thought of it as How to Train Your Dragon and Toothless.
Yeah.
Like when Toothless, like he puts his hand up to him and he smells him and like touches him.
Yeah.
I was like, is that what was happening?
Right? Yeah, maybe. But we do find out that this Draken is likely bound to Kolis. Not of his choice, probably. It makes us again wonder, like, what are you smelling? Are you smelling that she's pregnant? You
Or
smell
that she
she's with
has
child?
life, or that, because we know there's a point in the War of Two Queens where we learn that all the Draken are bonded to Poppy. So it like, do the Draken know that Sarah has the embers of life in her and feel that
Yeah.
connection and pull to her too?
Right? Yeah. There's so many things this Draken could be smelling. Who knows? Maybe
Or because she's
smelling
smelling death.
or smell like death.
Nyktos.
Nyktos, the mountain stuff. So who knows? So also that god that Sarah killed was from Kella's court. So it seems like Kolis knew exactly what he was doing and was trying to punish Kella by asking questions about Sarah and like basically just had Sarah murder somebody for no reason. Supposedly no reason. So then Kolis continues to hold court and kills another god because someone called him a cheat. And, you know, just exactly what you expect to happen in Kolis' court. He's just like, I don't like you, you're dead, do whatever I say and want, and agree with me at all things. And you're like, ugh. Kolis,
But
you
how is
suck.
that killing happening out of love? Remember he said he only
Right?
kills people out of love? I'm like, what?
Who are you loving in this moment when you murder this person? Please tell me, because I don't know.
I need some documentation.
Yeah.
So then Kolis forces Sarah to sit on his lap, blah, and threatens to revoke both of the deals she made with him if she continues to question his choices. And then, did not see this coming at all, fucking Veses shows up, like out of
Stupid
nowhere.
Veses. Hate her.
And she claims that there was trouble in her court, which is why she's been gone for so long. And I'm like, if by trouble you mean that you were entombed in the Shadowlands, then yes.
Yes,
But
by all
Kolis
means.
is,
Yeah.
by all means, continue with the lies. So Kolis is displeased with her because she didn't inform him about Sarah's presence in the Shadowlands. And I love how Sarah's like, yep, and she saw me twice.
She knew. She knew I was here. She knew I was here, everybody. Don't believe her lies. She knew.
So, and then Veses claims that she didn't inform Kolis because Sarah's immortal and her presence doesn't matter. Which it feels like a very like Veses thing to say, like, oh, like she's unimportant. Like, why would I bother?
Yeah.
And then she says she would do anything for Kolis out of duty, loyalty, approval, attention, and love. So there is someone that does love Kolis. It is Veses.
I mean, like meet like. They're made for each
Why
other.
he is not all over that, I don't understand.
Right?
So then
Yeah,
Kolis, like, hello, she wants you. So Kolis makes a comment about how Veses would suck his cock if she asked. And then she like basically begs him to ask her to do it in front of the entire court right now. And I'm just like, thank God he said no, because I don't want to read that.
No.
I love spicy scenes, but a spicy scene between Veses and Kolis, I never want to read that. Never.
We can pass. We can pass on that one.
I think that might be worse than seeing the Dead Bones clan again.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
So Veses is not pleased when she learns that Kolis says Sera is Satoria. She has like a very like visceral reaction with her face, and then she like kind of recovers quickly and she's like, oh, I'm so happy for you. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Yeah.
So as her punishment for not telling Kolis about Sera, Veses will serve, and I quote, as the evening's entertainment with Ken. Basically like insinuating that Veses will be Ken's sexual plaything for the entire evening without her consent in front of everyone.
Ugh.
And so that's what we see like kind of start to happen. And Sarah demands that it stop, and Kolis tells her to stop and then uses compulsion to make her like calm down. And then he takes her back to the chambers, to her cage, and chains her up from the ceiling, claiming it's an act of love. And then he weeps. And I, at this point, was screaming at the book, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like,
right?
what? So all the things he's done up to this point have been like disturbed. This is like next level disturbed, which I didn't think was possible. So and then it gets worse, right? Because she's chained up. And so I've like envisioned this in my head, and fucking Callum comes in and he's like, if you were my sister, I wouldn't have allowed this to happen. And I'm like, I don't think you have power, Callum. Like, you think you can make Kolis do things? I don't believe so. He
Yeah, also
also,
calling out like, oh, so if I was related to you, this wouldn't be okay. But because I'm not, it's fine. Like,
it's fine for
no.
people to be treated this way.
Yeah, it's like, you're fucked up.
Right? This is why we call you fucking Callum, because we hate you. And he goes, deep down, Kolis knows like Sera isn't Satoria because he never would have done this to Satoria. And I'm like, I bet Satoria's soul would disagree with that. Because it sounds like he's done very fucked up things to Satoria based on comments that he's made. He also says, and I think this is really interesting, Kolis never would have done this or kept pets, which I assume also alludes to like favorites, before Ethos died. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Additionally, Callum claims Ethos killed Satoria the second time she died. It was the second and the last time Callum failed her. And I'm like, I got questions. So then Kolis comes back in and has Sera taken down from the chains, telling her to rest, and then everything will be better. Okay. And I'm like, no, it will not. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I ceased Veses' punishment when I returned to the hall.
But what happened at that time frame? Right?
But also, like, I'm like, that doesn't make you a good guy because you made it stop. Like, you're not a good guy. You started it.
Yeah. It's just...
But I feel like that's
you hung me up in these chains. And not in a sexy way.
Hours, I assume. Correct.
Yes. Like, to the point where she was, like, up on her tippy toes and, like, could not bear weight on herself. And, like, all of her muscles were hurting. I'm like, this is not fun. This is not sexy. No. This is not love.
It's the opposite of love. Well, and I feel like every single time he's like, well, I didn't mean to do it. I apologize. So then it doesn't count. Like with this thing with Veses, he's like, well, I stopped it. I'm like, yeah, but you told Ken to sexually assault her in a room full of people and you were okay with it. That was your choice to make happen. But you realized the error of your ways and so it stopped? So now you're a good guy? Is that how you think it works? And I feel like Callum is like, oh, Kolis is a good guy. He used to be even better. I mean, I don't agree with everything that he does, but like deep down, if you really know him.
Really know him. Like he may have started this fire, but he put it out, so that means he's good. And you're like...
Not to get political, but it reminds me of, kind of like what's going on in the world today when someone will be like, oh, but that's not... You can't take everything he says literally. And I'm like... Or you can. Because he says it, then he does it. Yeah, but he doesn't mean it. Are you sure? It. Sure. Keep telling yourself that.
Okay. Let's keep starting.
You might be in a cult if.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You might be trapped with Kolis if. Yikes. They would be besties, I'm sure. The next day, then, Sera knows she needs to start playing the role and fake apologizes for what happened, even though nothing's her fault, of course. But she's like, all right, apparently this is how I need to pretend. And Kolis takes her out on a walk. Much like taking a dog on a walk is how she feels. Like, so I'm a pet that gets to get taken out on a walk? Yay, I guess. But he ends up showing her how he ascends someone, which is very disturbing. And he's like feeding from a chosen. But then instead of giving his blood to the chosen one, he has Elias do it. Elias gives the chosen some of his blood to then create the ascended. And so I'm just like, so you're not even doing this. Like you're claiming to give life and you are only the one taking life. You are only removing. You are not giving. Like these
also, I don't think the chosen really wanted this based on the fear in his eyes. Did Elias have any consent in whether or not he gave this guy his blood? Like,
right? Like, this is not true at all. Like, all these things are lies. You are Delulu. And so, Kolis says, like, it's necessary. Like, the Ascended are not perfect, these bad things happen, but it keeps the balance. I'm like, what kind of balance are you doing here?
I also, at this point in the book, wanted to scream, fuck the balance. I am so tired of hearing about the balance.
Fuck the greater good. Fuck the balance.
Fuck the balance. I'm over it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. So then we also learn that the primal of death is supposed to remain distant from anyone whose soul may one day pass before them for judgment. So like literally like any being that's not a primal or a Draken, like can't have any contact with. Meanwhile, like that doesn't apply apparently to the primal of life, according to Kolis. So, okay, I get it at this point where Kolis is like upset that like his entire life he was not allowed to have like intimate contact, friends. Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why you were jealous then of your brother who got to have all the friends, all the parties, all the time, but you weren't allowed. I understand why you were jealous, but we don't kill people for that reason.
But also, it's like a bully. Because, like, when I read this, I was like, I feel like this is what bullies say. Well, everyone gets to do this but me. That's why I act this way. And I'm like, is that true? I mean, because we learn later, like, this isn't true. But I'm like, Kolis, like, woe is Kolis. That's what I feel like. He's like, woe is me. I've had such a rough life.
Yes, exactly. And then Kolis again reiterates that there must always be the primal of life and the primal of death, even if it's just embers like within a mortal bloodline. Or the primal's in stasis. You're like, oh?
Ooh.
But bad news bears, Sera realizes that Kolis can't be killed because that's bad. But that will upset the balance in a bad way. Of like, that's not great. So
No.
she's thinking about all of this and she realizes, that there was this thing called the star diamond that could hold primal embers. So theoretically, could that hold the embers from Kolis? Could we put the embers in this thing and then just kill Kolis anyway? Like the embers are fine, but we kill Kolis. Can we make that happen?
I'd like to see that happen.
Yes.
And then fucking Veses shows up to see Sera, and Callum is not pleased. Right? He's like, well, you can't be here. But eventually, like, she sweet talks her way into it because clearly, like, they're both on the same side that we hate Sera.
Mm-hmm.
The, hate Sera side and the Team Kolis side.
They made shirts.
But eventually, they do have shirts. There's like a group chat and everything.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's just Callum and Veses.
Yeah, just them.
Just them. Because Hannon's dead. He was in the group. He's gone.
He left the chat.
I love that when he's left the chat.
Yeah.
So Veses then pretends that she didn't need Sera's help with her punishment, and she likes Ken's sadistic edge. And I hate Veses like so much for so many reasons. I felt for her in this scene because I do feel like there are times where people are sexually assaulted and they try and downplay it because they can't deal with the severity of it or like allowing themselves to realize the truth of what happened. So I feel like that's a lot of what kind of she's doing here. And she said this wasn't the first time Veses has been punished like this. So this has happened to her before. And sometimes it's been with Drakens. So we have theorized on this. Can you have sex with Drakens? You can. And apparently they fuck really hard. So just manifesting that out in the world.
But can we get a good Draken sex scene though? Not a salty one. No assaulty ones.
No assaulty ones. Like a consent one that we want to read. Like I'm thinking like Reaver, Nyktos, not together, obviously.
No.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see Drakens doing Drakens. I don't think. Just like throwing that out there.
Yeah. Aren't they related? No, they're not related. I was thinking of Nyktos.
They're not related.
His daughter.
Jadis,
yeah. I was like, no.
I'm just like throwing that out there.
But Reaver and
like
Jadis.
Or a Reaver and Tawny.
Ooh.
Or like or like a Reaver and are you ready for this? Vonetta.
Oh my god, that'd be so cray.
Can you imagine how mad Kieran would be in a meal?
So bad. Wait, is that why Tawny's different? Like she's like Callum because the way she was created?
Potentially. Like I wonder if she's a revenant. Or not like a true revenant, but a revenant like Callum and Millie.
Yes.
So
because when they were made, it was such like anguish and emotion that couldn't be replicated.
So, but Veses has to chew herself free of the deity bones. So, hey, just
Oh, yeah.
news for everyone.
That was a
When
fun thing to
you're,
find out.
I was like, oh, that took a lot of effort.
Ugh.
You can get out. So if you ever are bound in deity bones, you can chew through your arms, and if you're a primal, they will grow back. It just takes a little bit of time. No
Just a
biggie.
little cannibalism. It's fine.
It's fine. She also brings up how she doesn't believe that Sera is Satoria, and how some others don't believe that as well. And I feel like that's like the rumor mill. Well, like other people told me. I'm like, I want names. If you're going to talk about tea, you need to tell me who.
Show me that
And then
receipt.
show me the receipts. Who are all of these people that are supposedly talking shit about me? I would like to know. And then she also says that she doesn't believe that Sera will tell Kolis about this visit because Sera is a good person and won't want to see Veses harmed. And she's right. I don't think Sera will tell Kolis. But also Sarah's going to kill the bitch. So like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think she wants to tell Kolis because she doesn't want Veses sexually assaulted again, or Kolis to try and kill her because she wants that honor herself.
Yes. She's like, I'm
And
gonna
then-
kill you, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And then Sera brings up the deal that Veses made with Nyktos and how disgusting it was that she forced herself upon him, since that has been done to Veses in the past. It's like, you've been sexually assaulted, and then were doing that by making Nyktos allow you to feed from him, and you were getting off on it.
Yeah, like you're just continuing the cycle.
Correct. And then this I think is really interesting. Veses shared that she leveled half her court when Kolis brought Satoria back to life the first time, similar to how Sera reacted when she found Nyktos with Veses. And I'm just like, okay, so you are like deeply fucked up and deeply in love with Kolis. I have a lot of questions.
Which is also just
So-
like, Kolis, how can you not see Veses, who like loves you despite all of your cray-crayness? Like,
And is
if they weren't
gorgeous.
it's like if they weren't two evil people, I'd be like, let them be happy and love each other. But they would just destroy the world.
Or maybe
with
they
their-
would just go away and like
Maybe they
calm
would go
down.
away.
Probably
Yeah.
not, but
not. Never
so
know.
then later Kolis shows up in Sarah's room and wants Sera to sleep beside him again. And he mentions how Nyktos is being prepared to be released, assuming Sera doesn't do anything. And I'm just like, okay, gaslighting. Like, I just feel like this is like threat. I will do my part as long as you don't do anything. And I kept waiting for him to have her like to renege on the deal for like some small reason, like to be like, oh, well, you did this one little thing.
I didn't like how you
So-
looked at me, so now I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. Or you were smiling in your dreams and it wasn't about me, like some nonsense.
Right?
And then
Ugh.
we also learned that while Kolis is not a virgin, he hasn't been with anyone else since he met Satoria,
Except his
and-
hand.
except his hand, clearly his hand,
Yeah.
and maybe some glass cocks. I don't know.
Who knows?
But what was interesting about this to me is that I felt like he was like, you should be thankful that I have not been with anyone else while you were out whoring around. And I'm like, what?
Right?
He's like, I kept myself chaste for you. What?
Thanks.
Thanks? I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want any of that. No.
Right.
Take
No,
it away,
thank you.
please. Yep.
So,
And then a couple of days later, Kolis takes Sera on a walk. Again, she's a good little doggy, gets to go on a walk. And mentions that Callum has been sent away to do something important for Kolis for a few days. And I'm like, where did he go? What is he doing? We don't ever learn about it. However, we do learn some more about revenants. So we learn they do not require blood, food, or sleep. So they can just like exist. It's weird. But like they're only literally driven by the desire to serve their creator. Like that's all they care about. So they're like robots, essentially. And apparently, Callum is different and he's full of wants and needs. But Kolis isn't entirely sure what had made Callum different, but thinks it just has something to do with like the magic of the creation. Because like according to Attes, like whatever the creator felt at the time of creation often shapes it, like causing joy, sorrow, desperation, or like anger to like mold it into a life before it even began. So now when Kolis creates revenants, he only feels duty. So like that's why like all they care about is like the duty to their creator. But when he made Callum, he felt like everything, like all the emotions that he felt like his entire life, pretty much. Like everything was brought up when he basically made Callum, and like Kolis restored his life. So Kolis doesn't 100% think this is true because he's like made himself feel these emotions when creating other evidence and like was not successful in creating another Callum. But again, the key here is like made himself feel. So it's like, that's not real. That's fake. That's fake. Like, dude, like you can't like recreate this moment, these real emotions like you did when you created Callum. Like, it's just not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Exactly. Well, and I also thought like just because you keep saying it doesn't mean that it's real, Kolis. Like,
yeah, it's like that's not how this works. No, but that explains why Callum is so different than all the other ones. And so then Kolis shows Sera the city of the gods, which we're like, oh, okay, cool. This is a cool place. There's diamonds everywhere. All right. And we learned that Kolis apparently gave the living there a choice when he took the Embers of Life. A very easy choice. Serve me or die. Huh. Oh, okay. So when the half of them refused, they all died. He killed every single one of them. And you're like, oh, that's not good. And
done out of love.
Done out of love, right? Yeah. You made me do it. But, you know, that really pissed off the Attes. They were so pissed. So then they, in turn, in their own revenge, killed everyone who pledged loyalty to Kolis. And I'm like, so now everyone's dead. Everyone here who died. People who didn't want to agree with you, dead. People who did agree with you, dead. Are you happy now, Kolis? Are you happy? No. But he does admit, he's like, maybe I reacted a bit rashly. Oops.
Just like a crumb.
Yes. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Which it's like, you don't do that from time to time at all. I guess awareness is the first step, but no.
But also, once again, I feel like the area, I'm just like, how did him killing half the people in the city and you retaliating by killing the other half? Like, how does that make the balance work?
Right? Yeah.
Now everyone's dead.
Yeah. I'm like,
two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah. Well, apparently here it does. But the area are fucked up. Just as fucked up as Kolis, honestly. I'm like, I don't like any of them. We need a new area.
Yes. So
we ascend a new area.
That would be great. Because they don't ever die, do they?
No.
They just exist forever.
Yeah. Making bad choices.
Clearly. So during their conversation, Kolis brings up how he wishes Sera looked more like Satoria. Which I'm like, great, because what does a girl love to hear? I wish you looked different. Thanks. He's like,
I wish you
does
looked
that
more
upset
like my
you?
ex. Essentially, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. If only you looked more like the girl that I used to love and killed.
Oh.
Sure. What a great way to make a girl fall in love with you. Please look different. He's like, oh, does that upset you? How can I make it up to you? Because I feel like that's right, like his MO. I did something bad or said something bad. What can I do to fix it? And then she makes up this really great story, which I loved, about how her mom had this flawed diamond that she loved, but Sera could never touch it. She doesn't think, and Kolis is like, I will go get it from you. Go get it, like, from your mom for you. And Sarah's like, oh, well, I don't know if my mom has it anymore. She's, like, backpedaling. But, like, any other diamond would suffice. And Kolis is like, oh, I have a really rare one. And then that's where we finally get to see the star diamond and learn that it's been in the chandelier above her cage this entire time. And there was this point when she did the storm and the chandelier shook. And I was like, I bet it's up there. And I was like, no, that's crazy. Why would he keep it up there?
That's too obvious.
That's too obvious, Stephanie. Like, don't do that. And then when it happened, I was like, oh.
You weren't crazy after all. It was there.
I wasn't crazy. I did not read too much into it that time.
All I could think about was the Sia song. Like, chandelier. It's a chandelier. It's up there.
So, she gets the chandelier comes down. She gets the diamond.
Wait,
she holds it.
I got one more.
Oh, you have another song?
No. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Or she sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Anyway.
I love it.
There's a lot of fun puns there.
There is. So when she gets the diamond, I just imagine like it goes in her hand and it's like, oh, and there's like light coming out from it, right?
Diamonds in the sky.
Exactly. I'm thinking some
Song.
Rihanna's in my head. The embers in her start humming, and anytime the embers in her start doing anything, I'm like, this is not going to be good for someone.
No.
And then she sees all these images in her mind. So she sees a man whose eyes are the color of the realms, with stars filling his pupils, yelling into the wind. And I was like, that's oddly specific. A dragon, the color of pine, breathes fire at the man and obliterates the man and the entire top of the mountain where the man was standing. And I was like, I don't want to see that.
So a Shadowstone Mountain? The Shadowlands?
Well, apparently that's nothing but scorched earth and the diamond sinks into the ground. And I'm like, okay, so we just saw how the diamond was formed. I also thought was really interesting when they were talking about the color of his eyes. Sera says his eyes in italics.
Yes.
Which feels like a breadcrumb. I'm like, whose eyes?
Is it Ethos's eyes?
So, no, because we know Ethos was alive afterwards. But like, it's someone else, right? I have no idea who. So next we see Ethos and Kolis. Kolis is holding the diamond, talking about changing the future, and Ethos is warning him that it won't bring anything but pain to him in the realms. And Ethos says that he can forgive Kolis for everything that happened if he stops now. And Kolis doesn't believe that. Because then so Kolis is like crazy, but now we're like going back to Crazy Town where he's like, Micella, who was Ethos's wife, loved him first when they were like children.
Yeah, right? Like a long time ago.
That's like, hi, we were in second grade and we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and now you're married to her, but she loved me first. Okay, if you need to believe that, sure.
Yeah.
And then he claims that she was only with Ethos because Kolis didn't want her. Okay, sure. And then
so then why
Ethos
are you mad?
is like,
if you didn't want her, why are you mad? Like,
why do you care?
Yeah.
So then Ethos claims that Micella may have loved Kolis when they were younger, but she cared for him as an adult until he killed her. And Ethos is like, I've never held any previous love that she had for you against you. Like, Kolis, you have invented so many things in your mind about how everyone is out to get you and woe is you.
Yeah.
So then we see Kolis thrust out his hand into the chest of Ethos. And like this pure unadulterated energy ramps up. Ethos says, like, I knew you were capable of this, but I had hoped it would never come to, like, I hoped I was wrong. I always had hope. Then Ethos dies and Kolis cries. And I'm like, hold on. Earlier, we heard Attes say, right, at the very beginning of the book, that Kolis would kill Nyktos, but wouldn't mean to. And I'm like, so you killed Ethos and you didn't mean to? What did you think you were doing when you stabbed him in the chest with an ancient bone? A bone of the ancients?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was happening?
Yeah.
When he was already weakened.
And like, then he tied up Sera and then cried about it. And it's like, well,
but you did it.
But you did this. These are the consequences of your own actions.
What?
And then the vision just stops. And it's like, but Sera remembered everything. And she tells Kolis, like, I saw you crying. You cried after you killed your brother. But then she realized, like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Because telling a man like that who clearly has issues that you saw him being vulnerable, not going to go well for you. And then Kolis is like, well, I want to know what else you saw. And like full on like takes the diamond away from her. Like, tell me everything. And he like full on like shakes her. He's like, tell me what you saw. And it's like rage is building like inside of him until she finally just like slams her hands into his chest, like with her ether, and to like get him off of her. And of course, that doesn't really work out so well for her because he gets very upset, furious literally for using the embers again. And this time like using it against him. And he's like, well, I'm not to blame for my actions. Like, you caused what's about to happen. Literally has the chain, or not the chains, like suspends her in the air, throws her back on the bed. And we're like, nope. This is not sexy. We do not, no consent is not sexy. He literally just like gets behind her, like shoves her down onto her stomach, yanks her head back. And she realizes like he's going to feed from me again, like, or worse. And like take control of the embers and like probably rape me and like literally just like go bad stuff. And as this is happening, Sotoria inside of Sera is like rising to the surface, and like inside of her, it just like screams like, "Get off us!" And it's just like this power just like erupts from Sera and like throws Kolis off of her, and it starts like using her ether to like destroy the room, including the gilded cage. So it's kind of like the same way that like she destroyed like everything's around her when she saw like Veses and Nyktos, but obviously now it's like, Kolis, get the fuck away from me! Like, all my power is going out. Breaks down the gilded cage. Her power,
which is
somehow
made of those ancient bones, right? So
Yeah.
like another sign that she is going to be the primal of life, because only the primal of life and death can destroy those bones.
Exactly, yes. And apparently she somehow was able to like free Nyktos too, so she like break away like his chains and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Don't know how you managed to do that. You're just that powerful, which, go girl. And then she like is able to like create like a lightning bolt in a way, like out of the ether, and just like hits Kolis with it. And he's like down for the count. And we're like, yeah, go get him. And he's like yelling at her like to stop. And she's like, no, like, there's no coming back from this. Like, you are gone. Like, I am so pissed off. Bye-bye, boy. And Sera and Kolis discuss what happened between him and Ethos. And Kolis claims, like, I didn't even mean to kill him. I didn't mean to kill my brother. It was an accident. Oops. And he's like, I didn't know that Ethos had removed the last ember from himself and was weakened. And so he kind of like has a little bit of regret in a way when he's talking about killing his brother. But it's like, but you still did it. So not good. So then she's like, because you did this, I'm going to stab you. And stabs him with a bone piece from the cage multiple times, much like he did to Nyktos. So she's like, how do you like that? I'm going to stab you just like you stabbed my love. And it incapacitates him. Great. Because, it's a bone of the ancients. Good. Taste your own medicine.
Once again, lots of bones of the ancients around here.
But it doesn't kill him.
Because he can't be killed yet. So finally, Nyktos arrives, and he's been killing and feeding from like everyone he's come across. So I just have like this, like, he's like unhinged, covered in blood, dripping, just ripping throats, just, I mean, it's crazy. And when he gets to Sera, he assures her everything's going to be okay. But then he becomes like, I would say slightly furious. I don't know. He was already unhinged and furious when he sees the marks on her throat. And Sera has to persuade him, next level, right? To not kill Kolis. Like, hi, remember the balance. Kolis has to live. And Nyktos knows what Kolis has done to her. He could feel her emotions while he was conscious. Her pain, her fear, her desperation, her anger. And Sera's like, we need to go somewhere safe. Like, you need to take the embers. And then Elias shows up, and Nyktos wants to kill him. And I'm like, I can understand that. I don't know where Elias stands. But Sera won't let him because Sera doesn't like to kill people. Mm-hmm. And then Elias says he serves the primal of life, the true primal of life, and bows to Sera. And there have been a couple of times where it's like, okay, could he potentially be like one of the gooder? Less bad, maybe, guys?
Yeah, less bad.
So he has sent word to Attes, who then shows up. Nyktos punches him, rightfully so. He deserved it. Mm-hmm. And then Sera almost collapses, and apparently it looks like she was shifting. And I was like, oh, what? And Attes and Nyktos could see the embers in her flesh for a few seconds. And I was like, what was she shifting into? What was she shifting into? And we don't learn right now. We learn a little bit. We infer later.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I was like freaking out. Because I was like, she's going to be so freaking excited when she knows she can shift into something. Mm-hmm. So the plan is for Elias to get Kolis out of there and make it more difficult for his loyalists to find him. He even convinces Attes to let him use Seti to do it. That was a fun little sentence. Attes and Setis. Yeah. So, but before they leave, Sera's like, wait, stop. We got to get the star diamond. It's in the chandelier. Like, that's the craziest thing. We got to get the diamonds in the chandelier. And diamonds then she tells Nyktos,
girl's best friend.
They also hold your father's soul.
Oh, that too.
Nyktos. No big deal. Big deal. And so Nyktos is very much like, don't risk your life for it. Nothing is worth losing you, which once again sounds like love. But obviously she doesn't listen to him, and she uses her ether to get it down.
Yeah. She's like, I'm going to do what I want. So then, they get it. Nyktos and Sera shadow step to the mortal realm near a lake so that they can kind of clean everything up. And Nyktos wants to hold the diamond, but Sera tells him, like, I don't think you should because I don't want you to, like, see these images of, like, how your father dies. Like, it's very traumatizing. I don't think you should see that. I'm going to protect you because I love you. So she tells him about it instead, which I'm like, slightly better, I guess. But, I appreciate you don't want to put those images in his mind. That's fine. And then Nyktos is helping Sera out of her gown. And she's starting to kind of struggle a little bit about this because, like, her feelings about the assault, like, and everything that happened with Kolis, like, she starts to get, like, a panic attack about it. And, like, I don't know how to behave. Like, I don't know what to do. And, like, Nyktos helps her through it. He's like, take your breath, like, hold it, like, let it go, like, helps her work through it. And you're like, okay, that's good. That's good. That's what love is, okay? You help each other through. And then he washes all the blood off of her, literally, like, burns that dress. He's like, I never want to see this thing again. And, takes her into the lake and she washes him. And you're like, oh, this is good. This is nice. This is healthy, healing. And then Sera asks Nyktos about what's going to happen after she dies. He's like, well, he doesn't want to answer it because he's like, I don't even want to think about it. It's not going to happen. But she tells him, like, this is going to help me feel better. Like, with everything that's going to happen, I want to know. And unfortunately, he's like, he doesn't know because it's hidden from him. Like, just like Lathan was, like, once Nyktos, like, considered him like a friend. Like, we learned that all the primals here are subject to the same rules. Like, once they form a bond with a mortal or a god, they cannot influence their lives in positive or negative ways. But that's not what Kolis told us. You made it sound like it only happened to him when he was the primal of death. However, the only primal not held to the standard is the primal of life? Okay, sure. Because that primal is held to a much higher standard, tasked with knowing when and when not to impact the lives of others. I'm like, this is just very convenient of you, Kolis, to change the wording around.
Woe is Kolis.
Woe is Kolis. Yeah.
So Sera also catches Nyktos up on everything with Attes and how they can trust him. I feel like she's like on the DL. He's a good guy. I know it's confusing, but, like, let me explain. We don't hate him now. I'm like, but okay.
Maybe still.
But also, he probably needs to get punched or stabbed a couple times. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
She also tells him they need to release his father's soul from the star diamond, take Satoria's soul out of her and put it in the star, and then he needs to take the embers. Like, that's a lot for anyone to process, let alone, like, after what's happened to the two of them. And then she believes she's already started her ascension and she's dying, which is devastating for both of them to realize. This is when I started to sob. From this moment on, I started to sob, and I continued to sob throughout almost the majority of the book until we got to some spice. I did
not cry at all.
You didn't? Oh my! I literally was.
I'm just
sobbing.
Like, It takes a lot for me to cry.
Oh, books.
You're a weeper. You weep.
I'm a weeper, and I apparently at this one I was I'm like ugly cry.
Kim Kardashian level.
Like, it was bad. And there was sunscreen involved.
Oh no,
it's not great.
That's bad.
Yeah. So Nyktos and Sera shadow step to the Bonelands to where the Shadowland forces are, and a couple things happen. We see Belle, who embraces Sera and thanks her for saving Eos because they got a little something going on. And interesting enough, she doesn't have her cuff yet like other primals do. But apparently it only appears when you're ready. Great. That's very helpful.
Yeah,
Nyktos didn't get
ready?
his right, exactly. Nyktos got his a few years after he became the primal of death. I just think it's interesting that it was pointed out because we know that means, like, Sarah's probably not going to have one for a while. And that means Poppy wouldn't have one for a while either.
Yeah.
So, and then Belle has Elias tied up because Edgy's just, like, dropped him off and then left before they could learn, like, who this guy was. So, and Sarah's like, well, no, he's, like, okay. Like, he's with us. And she's like, he's alive. He's on our team. No harm, no foul. And then, like, I think, like, Draken, like, ends up, like, sitting kind of, like, above where he's at, and, like, some rocks fall on him or something. It's fine. No biggie.
It's a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. It's no big deal.
Okay. Yeah.
So Sera then learns that Orphine did die in the Shadowlands battle. That was the Draken that we saw towards the end of A Light in the Flame. And Nyktos says that she's at peace in Arcadia now. And then they have to go up these temple steps, and Sarah's been really big about wanting to like walk places herself, but like she's really struggling, so Nyktos carries her up there. And then we see Sion give Nyktos a hug and he returns it, which is like a big step because remember in the last book, everyone was shocked when Sarah was touching Nyktos. They're like,
No one touches him.
No
one touches
him.
Not touchy.
Right? No touchy. But then like we get like more people are giving him hugs, right? And then Sarah focuses on this because she's like, okay, well, he's not going to be alone once I'm gone. And so then I started crying harder. And then Nyktos tells everyone that Sarah was the one who set him free and that he wouldn't be there without her. And then Rain says the same. And then Kars echoes that he doesn't think many of us would be there without her. It's like everyone's like, you have saved all of us. And she's like, it's no big deal, you guys. I just did what anyone would do.
I just did what anybody would do.
No big deal. And I'm like, I don't think that's accurate.
No, clearly.
But
it's
okay.
like, not everybody would do this.
No.
But then Attes shows up and mentions that Kella is waiting. And Nyktos then does some aggressive flirting with the Draken Aurelia. And you're like, maybe there's going to be a little...
Another Draken baby?
Yeah.
Also, what's interesting about this, Aurelia, isn't she the Draken from Etty's court? I think she is. And so remember how like in the last book, like Reaver said like he went to go see her, he's sweet on her? Like, what if Nyktos, who knows Ethos, would have known that Etes and Ethos were friends? What if Nyktos has known this entire time that Etes is good?
Probably.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when this part came up, I was like, are you fuck? Because Nyktos wouldn't go mess around with another, like, Draken from another court that he couldn't trust.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, Nyktos, why don't you tell us things?
Again, we need another like precursor to the prequel. Like we need more background info on all these people.
I just also need Nyktos and Karen to just tell us things. And
Yes.
Reaver. Like I need you to not be I need to not have to read into your actions.
Yeah, let's drop
or the
this
cryptic things
act,
that you say.
Right? Yeah. But what we do learn, which is nice, is that something definitely did happen between Layla and Attes. Because something sexual based on their comments, you're like, Layla also used to serve in his court. So you're like, something's going on here. We need more info, though. We can't just have cryptic little sexual innuendos. Maybe in one day. So then Kella arrives to help get Ethos' soul out of the star and then put Satoria's soul into the star. And she shares that only the person who put the soul in the star could summon it or the Ere could. But those aren't really options. So she's like, well, the primal of life could will it to happen. Oh, look at this. We just so happen to have the primal of life right here, everybody. And like, well, that's convenient. But no surprise, of course, because Nyktos is not thrilled about Sera doing it because she's super weak. He's like, it's not going to happen. But she's like, I have to. It's your father. Like, I need to do it. I want to do it. So then she's, like holding the star, willing the soul out of the star. His soul comes out and Nyktos lets out like a shrill sound. And I think that's because, like they were connected and it's like a weird kind of Draken connection thing. But then there's just like this mass light that like comes out and like almost extends into like an arm and like touches Nyktos's cheek. And Nyktos just says to his father, like he understands. And then like the soul and the light of everything of his father just like drifts upwards. And you're like, he's on. He's passed on. He's no longer trapped. I'm like, that's kind of a beautiful moment right there.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me a lot of the movie Onward. Did you ever see that one? At the end, where like the father finally comes back, but like the older brother gets to like say goodbye. Finally, like he's free. It's kind of like that. Like Ethos' soul is free and he gets to say goodbye one more time. I'm like, that's beautiful. And then Sera passes out because she used all of her energy to pull the soul out of the diamond. So now she's just like, I'm spent. I'm done.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
What else has a girl got to do?
Right? Yeah.
So when she awakens, she's in the Thaya Plains on the veranda of Kella's palace with Nyktos. And he shares that his father told him that he loved him and was proud of the man he had become, us too. And that his father said, don't forget what he said to Nyktos when they were near the Red River rounding up shades. I'm like, that's very specific. And Nyktos is like, I don't remember what that was.
Oh.
And I'm
Well,
like,
I don't know.
feels like something very important for you to have remembered, Nyktos. Also, could you also have just told him?
Right.
Right?
Instead
Just
of
like,
remember
hey,
that thing we talked about, just say, remember blank.
this.
Like, fill in the blanks.
Correct. We learned that Nyktos gave Sera some of his blood to ensure she woke up. I'm like, yay. But also, if you have to give her blood to ensure she wakes up, she's really close to dying.
Yeah.
And then Nyktos appears and confirms that Sera doesn't have much more time left. He can sense it and smell it. He mentions that Nyktos and any other primal can sense the fading of the embers. So that means like Nyktos does know she's almost out of time. And then Nyktos reminds Nyktos of what needs to be done and soon. And then Nyktos confirms that Jadis and Raver are safe when Sera asks about them. And all I thought was, we didn't get any baby Draken time in this book.
I know.
I missed my baby Draken time.
Missed my baby Drakens.
I hope there's still baby Drakens in the 4th book in the series.
Yeah.
So
maybe new ones.
then Attes, or we get new baby Drakens. Baby Drakens are great.
Mm-hmm.
So Attes comes in and says it's time to move Satoria's soul because it's the only thing that has a chance to eventually stop Kolis. And Nyktos is like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't care about Satoria's soul. I only care about Sera. And Sarah's like, well, Satoria's alive, or she's at least conscious, like in me. Like I can feel this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, Nyktos, do you know your wife? Like how many times does she have to prove that she's willing to sacrifice herself for others?
Yeah. Yeah. And also like she doesn't want other people to suffer. So
Exactly.
she's going to do what she's going to do for Satoria. And then Attes also confirms that he heard Satoria's voice and laugh kind of like from Sera when Kolis first had her. And you're like, oh, don't love that. But
No.
Attes knew that Satoria, he knew her like from like Kolis bringing her back to life a while ago. And it was like in her presence long enough to know her voice and laugh. So I'm like, how long were you around? How long have you known about this? Attes is hiding things. Or at least not
I have some
revealing
theories.
them. I know you do. I know you do. So then Kella confirms that there has to be a true ember of death within someone else for Kolis to die and the realms not be destroyed. Again, the whole balance thing, which is annoying. Which means Kolis can't be killed yet because it's not clear where a true ember of death is. And you're like, well, that complicates things a bit.
Potato.
Right? Like, come on.
Like,
let's just kill Kel. Let's see what happens, you know?
What's the worst that can happen? The world ends?
Right? It's already pretty bad.
Like,
But, yeah. But then according to Kella, they're like, okay, we're going to remove Satoria's soul. We're going to put it in the star. Then we can like incapacitate Kolis by like entombing him in the bones of the ancients until Satoria can be reborn and then come of age. Which, I'm like, okay, what? So coming of age again means 19? Like,
I guess. Or is it like going through the calling?
yeah. Well,
Is
again,
that-
that's like the 19 years
It
old,
kind of
right?
starts at 19, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So-
At 19, I was not of age.
No, I would not have been able to handle any of that. No way, Jose. Not gonna happen. But, apparently now, like, Kolis will be weakened enough by the ascension of the true primal of life, and it'll be the only opportunity for them to, like, really kill Kolis. Like, really, really kill him. Okay, good luck to all of us. Nyktos then reiterates that Sera is the only thing that matters, which makes her feel, really special because, he loves me, who I am, not what I was born to do. Like, love Sera, not primal, whatever you want to call me. And then Keller reminds them that what they're going to do with Satoria will likely upset the balance and piss off the fates. But when are they not pissed off? Like, honestly. So again, who gives a shit about what they're saying? And it's important then also to know that life cannot be restored twice for the same person. And that includes mortals, gods, and Draken without the area intervening somehow. So I feel like that's a breadcrumb.
I feel like that's a huge breadcrumb because
Yeah.
think about everyone who died at the end of the War of Two Queens that Sera brings back to life.
Yeah. It's like, God forbid that they die again and try and get restored
Then they're
again.
dead. They can't.
Yeah.
We have to rely on the area. Not
Yeah.
okay.
That's not going to be good. Not going to be good.
I literally, when I read this, I was like, I need to make a list of everyone who's ever died in this series.
Who has already been dead once and
That Sera or Poppy have brought back to life. Like, I need a list because I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, right. Not good. Not good. So then Kella also believes that the fates are likely why Sera wasn't reborn as Sotoria and became a vessel instead. They had their hand in this. They were messing around. So then Kella has Nyktos anchor himself to Sera's soul so that her soul doesn't get pulled out on accident.
That would super suck.
Let's pull out the right soul, please. And they pull out Sotoria's soul and place her in the star. And then Sera literally hears Sotoria tell her we will meet again. It's like, I knew it. You're there. Truth. If only Callum could have been there and been like, oh, she is in there. That is my sister. Yeah. I'm so sorry for all the things I did. But then Kella plans to keep Sotoria's soul safe until Kolis won't be able to find her until she's ready to, come back.
Till she's 19.
Yeah.
Great.
So then Nyktos and Sera go back to the Bone Lands, and Rain tells Sera, thank you for what she did to sacrifice everything to save his life. And now he regrets not seeing her how Ector had. And so as somebody who has earned their respect and admiration, which is thank you so much for finally apologizing. Appreciate that. And then Rain reminds her that Nyktos always saw her that way. And everyone knows it's going to be the last time they see Sera. So I'm of course, it's nice that they're all apologizing for all the shitty things they've done to her and how now they respect her and admire her. And it's thanks. Why couldn't you have done that when I wasn't about to die?
Right.
Thanks so much. But, and a final testament to all that, they end up bowing in front of her and pay their respects to her and say that they will honor her with their sword and life in blood and ash forevermore.
That feels like something.
Feels pretty big. Pretty big. It's a big deal.
Pretty big. So Nyktos takes Sera to her lake just like he promised. I started sobbing harder then. And when it was time, I literally am at the pool full on sobbing.
Do you need some tissues?
I just, at this point, there was sunscreen. I have sunglasses on. My kids are in the pool. My husband's on a chase next to me, and he was just you are not okay. I'm I'm not okay. And the kids are
I can picture him being what's wrong with you? And you're
and the kids are oh, mom. Well, Grace, my son, has read Throne of Glass, and he's she's in the last 100 pages.
Yep.
It's what he shouts from the pool, and I was you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know.
So there's a lot that happens once we get to the lake. So Sera tells Nyktos that she loves him and none of this is his fault. She tells him to take his rightful place as king of the gods after Kolis is dealt with. She tells him she doesn't want him to be alone, to find a way to restore his cardia and allow himself to love and be loved. And he's not on board with that idea. He's I could never do that.
Yeah.
But Sarah's I'm makes him promise he'll do it, saying that she'll find peace if she knows that he will be happy and have peace. And then we get a spicy scene by the lake where Nyktos goes down on Sera. Then they have sex. It's incredibly hot and passionate and sad all at the same time.
So then in that case, was Kolis right? That when you're near death, you're really horny?
Well,
because she's near death and
they're having sex. And then Nyktos says he never wanted until her. And that broke my heart. And then we get this great spicy scene. I'm crying. And then Nyktos is Kolis has been found. And Sarah's he's conscious. And I'm fucking Kolis. Stop ruining my scene.
Right?
So rude. So Sera tells Nyktos how he made her feel wanted, valued, needed, and cherished for who she was, not who she was supposed to be or what she could do for someone. She lived because of him. And it was just so poetic. I loved it. And then Nyktos takes her to the lake. She tells him it's time. Then he starts to feed from her. And I'm just thinking, I would love to get that chapter in his POV.
Oh, that would be so good.
It'd be
traumatizing.
I'd be so destroyed. But I want to read it.
Yeah.
But also,
you're a glutton for punishment.
I'm a glutton for being emotionally destroyed. So while this is happening, Sarah thinks about like where she'll be going, who will determine her fate, who she might see when she gets there. And she knows that she's dying, but she feels like at peace knowing that Nyktos would live and rule as he always should have.
Yeah. But then Nyktos is like, fuck the embers. Stops feeding from her, doesn't take the embers, and tells Sera to take his blood instead. Because he's like, I'm not letting you go. And it's like, way to change it all up on us, but also same, like, I don't want her to die either, so I'm okay with that.
But also, could you have given a girl a heads up?
Right? Yeah, like, come on. Like, she was finally at peace, and you're like, just kidding, I'm not going to do this. And he doesn't care at all, like, what Delphi or the Aerie claim. Like, he's going to try and ascend her. And he's like, I don't give a fuck what she comes back as. Like, I will love her anyway. I don't care. Like, she's coming back to me in whatever way she has to. Like, whatever. Like, if she's a vampire, I don't care. I'll still love her. And
which is very like Castile when he has something popular.
exactly.
Like, he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. Just let her be. And Sera tells him, like, take the embers. But he refuses. He's like, he's willing to literally risk everything because, you know, the lives of millions of mortals and other gods don't surpass her life. Which you're like, okay, dude, like, that's love. Hello. And he says, like, if he loses her, the realms wouldn't survive anyway. He would just destroy the realms. And then again, he's like, fuck the greater good. And she feeds from him. She finally does. She's like, okay, fine, you convinced me. And she has just like this flood of memories coming back to her, including one like of her mom, where she realizes like her mom like was full of heartbreak for like losing her husband and then also losing the child that she could never like grow attached to because she had to honor the deal made by her ancestors. I'm like, okay, it makes sense why your mom was such a bitch. And she like kind of feels sad for her mom in a way, but like also not really. And then Sera sees memories of like Odetta, Sir Holland, and Ezra, and Jadis, and Ios, and Bella, and Ector, Scion, Nyktos, like everybody. And then Nyktos is like begging her not to leave him and says how much he loves her. And then Sera sees the ancients. She sees the fire in the flesh that created the first primals, the primal of life with the baby Draken, the first mortal born. She understands then that like there must always be a balance. And she sees then the horrors of like what will happen if that cycle of life is broken. And she knows like the ancients who return to the ground, they should never, ever, ever come back because they would literally end the world and like shake the realms and like it is bad. But then she knows she's like, she's alive. She's like, I'm alive. I didn't die. I've become the primal of life. But then she goes into stasis. You're like, what?
Oh. What? Also, all I thought was, fuck, there's something worse than Kolis. It's the ancients.
Yeah, right?
Like, did
good.
not see that one coming. So, while Sarah's in stasis and sleeping, she dreams of being in a lake while a silver white wolf watches her and someone talks to her in her sleep. So the voice soothes her and she knows that he meant something to her. So I was imagining like this is probably what Poppy's experiencing. And then Nyktos is telling her all about how he watched over her, how they met. It's very similar, right, to Castile and Poppy. And we also get confirmation that the one thing that could return Arcadia, like we've been talking about, is a heartmate.
I knew it. Woo! I knew it.
So then Sera sees a cave cat staring back at her. And she knows it's her. And I'm like, okay, you're going to shift into a cave cat. And then she also notices there are two smaller cave cats with her, which we'll talk more about in a second when we get to theories. And then, so that must be what Attes and Nyktos saw when she started to shift after she had attacked Kolis and freed Nyktos. Mm-hmm. She's a little bit out of it when she comes out of stasis.
Just a bit. Just a
little bit. But she knows that Nyktos is mine, which reminds me a lot of Castile when he shifted, right? And he kept saying mine, like to both Kieran and Poppy, not mine to Emil.
Emil is the meal.
Correct. And then she feeds from Nyktos using her fangs for the first time. He has to tell her, and I thought this was hilarious, like release the fangs, because like she like she doesn't know what to do. She's just in there and she's not letting go. And she says like, his blood was out. Like, ouch.
Like, out, too far, ouch.
Oh.
And then it
Then
got
he enjoys
good.
it. And then she said his blood was life, and feeding from him turns her on. I mean, obviously. So we get another spicy scene where they have sex. And then we go from like just a couple of spicy scenes to so much, like pretty much the last 10% of this book is spice. And I was so grateful for all of it. This
Yes.
is when I
After
stopped
all
crying.
the sobbing, you were like,
I was
yay.
This is my reward.
Yes, there you go. Good. And then immediately after that spicy scene, we get another one where Nyktos tells Sera to run because he needs her and won't be able to hold on to his mortal form much longer because, oh my God, here it comes. Primal of death form. Shadows involved. Shadow Daddy. There are no words. There are no words other than, yes, please.
How do I get one of those?
He's like, you bet I can't control myself. And you're like, please don't. Please don't control yourself. This we like. Not you,
Yes.
Kolis. We don't like that. We don't like
No.
those things. We
Whatever.
like this.
Yes.
This is nice. So then immediately after that one, yay, we get another one where Nyktos goes down on Sera and Nyktos, whoopsies, comes to check on them. He's like, I'm hearing screaming. Is everything okay? And Nyktos is like, go away. And you're like, oh no. Oh, no. And Sera agrees like, Nyktos, you may not be alive if you don't leave us alone because we are in our mating season right now. Like, walk away. And so he does. He's like, okay, I'm going to go over here now. Bye. And Sera then realizes that she is not only the primal of life, but like basically like the queen of gods. Like, pretty cool. Like, she's the queen, which, you know, makes Nyktos the king of gods, if you think about it. And he's like, if that's what you want to call me, if, you know, it's fine. Be the king, queen. Otherwise, he's like, I'll be your consort. And you're like, oh. But then we get another spicy scene where the king fucks his queen. You're like, yes, please, yes. And there's a little bit of talking then about how Sera wonders if she'll get used to her fangs and how Ken didn't regain his memories after his ascension. But then they're having sex again. And you're like, okay. Is this just basically what we need to expect when Poppy wakes up? Just like tons of sex, which I'm okay with.
I hope.
I hope so. Please, is somebody going to be Shadow Daddy? Which also, quick question. So Sera can turn into a cave cat.
Mm-hmm.
And Nyktos turns into a wolf.
Wolf.
Cats and dogs.
Ethos. I know, right? Interesting. What is Poppy going to turn into? I have a theory on that.
Is Poppy going to turn into a werewolf then?
No, I think Poppy's going to turn into a dragon.
Ooh, yeah. Because Castile turns into the cave cat.
Correct.
So, but if they're like the same as them, though.
Because it's Kieran.
That's true, the joining. So maybe she should become Draken.
Or that's what you and I want.
I don't think she'll
How
turn
is
into
this?
Kieran.
No, I don't think that would be as exciting as a Draken.
No. Draken definitely much better.
Do you imagine how badass she would be if she just like all of a sudden like shifts into a dragon?
What if she could do everything? What if she can turn into whatever she wants?
She's like a transformer.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I mean, she would be insufferable.
That'd be so, oh my God. Yeah.
It'd be
She'd
so
have
great.
so many more questions.
She would have so many more questions.
Yeah.
Kieran will love that.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Okay.
oh God.
But then Nyktos is like, we should perhaps take like a sex pause because like you're still regaining your strength and we need to talk about some stuff. And I'm like, you started this, Nyktos. You're the one that like.
Yeah.
I don't think this is all her doing. So we learn a lot of things. Kolis is holed up in Delos nursing his wounds, probably with his bestie Callum. Every god in Primal in the Elysium has felt her ascension. And they're not like all sure how they feel about it. Meh.
Yeah.
Nyktos had a dream the night Sera was born of her in the lake. He saw her dying in the lake and saw himself. He thought it was his imagination or a strange dream. So he literally saw a vision of the future. And so he did everything, which is cool, but also creepy.
Yeah, it's like, is he part fate? He's a seer.
Well, didn't his father have the ability to see some visions too, I thought?
I think maybe. Are we thinking about Castile?
No, I was thinking about Ethos. I thought he had some ability to do that. I don't know.
Check
but
my
I was like,
notes.
I'll have to check my notes. But he did everything in his power to deny that dream from happening. And so, like, my heart just breaks for, like, all the things this man has done to protect her, but didn't think he loved her. He had his cardio removed only a few days from before when she came to the Shadowlands. He was still healing it from it when she was there, which is interesting because there's this point that I didn't think anything of that I remembered when I read this was like she gets to the Shadowlands and like she touches him after like a couple of days after she's there and he like hisses at her. And I was like, I
Ooh.
think that's because his cardio is removed and she was touching him and she was his heartmate. So,
Ooh.
or I just read really into that. So Nyktos wishes he had never done it and was more courageous like her. He also saw a vision of the realms being destroyed at his hands.
Uh-oh.
So he had his cardio removed because he knew one day Sarah would wreck him, that he would fall in love with her, and he would end the realms because he lost her. And I'm like, does this poor guy need more shit on him?
Right.
Like, not only did his mom die, his dad died, his uncle is the king of the assholes, but you show him that, hi, you might fall in love with this woman. You're going to have to kill her to save the realms, and then you're going to destroy the realms because you lost her. So you're going to have your cardio removed so you can't do those things, and it's still going to happen.
You're just gonna have a bad time. This is not good.
That doesn't sound great.
Oh.
Fuck the balance. So he does
Fuck the
confirm
balance.
fuck the balance, that they're heartmates, which is why they could dream walk, and so removing his cardio was completely meaningless.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you went through that painful process for literally no reason.
No reason.
Yeah. And then Nyktos says the Aerie are forbidden to intervene in the affairs of the souls of heartmates. And you're like, oh, okay, well, there you go. That's a plus side, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. So, like, apparently, like, not even the death of the body or the heart and soul can break a connection.
Okay. Point here on this. Now that I've just thought more about this.
Uh-huh.
Isbeth, or Isbitch, as we call her, said that she was a heartmate with Malik. But then when he became entombed, it broke that connection. They're not really heartmates. We've theorized that they may not be heartmates. I don't think they were, because according to this, if you die, it can't break it.
Yeah. So they weren't true.
I don't think so. Which is probably why Nyktos wouldn't let them do the heartmate trials, because they weren't heartmates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Malik was a player. She got
that's
played.
true. She got played. She got played so hard. He just wanted somewhere to put his dick.
He just wanted the nookie.
Yeah. The nookie?
That song popped in my head. I don't know why.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, okay. But okay, so Sarah, here's a good thing that happens. Again, we learned that her ascension stopped the rot. Yay!
Yay!
The people
So
are saved.
she does stop the rot by becoming the primal of dust consort.
See, so it all worked out. The original prophecy happened. So the mortal realm and Elysium are good. No more rot. Yay! But then Sarah also finds where Nyktos has been storing all of her hair ties, which is super cute. Like, okay. And then Nyktos also tells Sarah that he wants them to share the truth about everything that happened with each other, no matter what. And he's like, whenever you're ready to share what happened with Kolis, I'll be here to listen. I'm like, okay. All right. But honestly, like, so then the book ends with them, like, making love without any details for us to read. And we're like, okay, well, that's not nice. How dare you? But we also get no cliffhanger. So, well, I guess in a way, your cliffhanger is thinking of, like, what's going to happen with Kolis? Like, is she pregnant?
I actually like
what can she...
I had lots of questions. So I like that there wasn't this, like, massive cliffhanger where I was like, oh my God, what? You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, I feel like the world is all up in the air right now. So there's kind of like a millions, oh my God, what's going to happen? But there wasn't like this one thing
one like immediate thing of like, oh my God. Yeah.
Which I feel like almost made it worse for me because then I was like, oh God, what's going to happen?
Oh shit. Like, what is she setting? What is Jennifer Armentrout setting us up for?
Exactly. I was like, I feel like I don't know where I know where the next book's going to go because obviously they're going to have to do something to entomb Kolis.
Mm-hmm.
But also I'm like, What about these ancients? We'll talk about it when we
Got
get to
questions
theories.
about
Like,
those.
I got questions. All right.
Yeah.
Hot and steamy. Are we thinking this is a 4?
Yeah, like I would say like leading up to the last 10% of the book, it was a 3, and then it just like went forward. You're like, okay,
Yes.
all right, 4.
4. Okay. So we start with chapter 6, which I debated whether or not this was actually like a spicy scene, but it was debatable. But she comes across a bunch of gods fucking, and normally if when it was just mentioned in the book, I didn't include that, but this time like we were a little bit more descriptive, right? Because she's talking about how like people in all stages of undress were sprawled across the floor in groups of 2, 3, and wow. I really want to know what the wow is.
So like 4, 5, 6.
I'm just like, my brain does not know how to comprehend that. So my gaze danced over a woman riding a man, like her heavy breasts swaying while another took her from behind, her hands and mouth full. Like she smiled around one cock as the man groaned. Goodness, that took talent. And then she like describes like all these other people. So I felt like that was a spicy scene because there were actual details versus like I just hear or see people having sex. So.
And then there was also the part where it's like, say, his hips plunging while the other buried his head between a half-dressed woman's thighs. She had her mouth on another woman who reclined, legs spread. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of
There's
fucking.
just a lot of fucking gods.
Of fucking gods. Mm-hmm. And then we get actual, like, our favorite people fucking. Chapter 12. Sera and Nyktos have sex while dream walking. So is this like dream sex? Dreamy sex?
Yes.
Yeah.
We like dream sex.
We like dream sex. And basically she says, I need you, Ash. Please. And he says, you have me, Lisa. He shifted, his large body coming down over mine, caging me. You've always had me. The tip of a sharp fang dragged along my lower lip, creating tiny knots of pleasure as the hot, hard length of him pressed against my core. I've always had you. And you're just like, oh my gosh. With each drugging, tugging, brush and pull of his mouth, tiny fires erupted through me, and then with one thrust he seated himself fully.
That's my kind of dream sex.
That's a wonderful dream. It's a lovely wet dream.
And then it's like quiet.
Yeah.
For like 26 chapters.
Too quiet. Too quiet.
And then it gets very spicy. So we get to chapter 38 where Nyktos goes down on Sera and they have sex by the lake. So this was like really good. This is like the good and like the sad one for me. Mm-hmm. So basically he says fuck, and then he said something in the primal language, but it was too fast and low for me to pick up. He kissed me again, and they were sweet and tender. He kissed me like he had his cardia and not only loved me, but was in love with me now and forever. And he kept kissing me as we began to move. And I was like, it was so sweet. And then it gets like the pace is a little slow. And she's like, more. He's like, faster. She's like, yes. Harder. And she's like, yes. Then it heats up. But it was just, it was very like romantic and also heartbreaking all at the same time.
Yeah. It was like making love and then fucking like the world's going to end.
Because it literally might.
It literally might end. You don't know.
Yes.
Yes. And then we have chapter 42 where Nyktos and Sera have sex after she comes out of stasis and feeds from him. Mm-hmm. Obeying, I took, my mouth moving greedily over his throat as I felt him cold and heavy against my heat. A wild pulse of lust lifted me up. His hand returned to my hips, steadying my frantic attempts to feel him where I needed him. And he guided me down, and we both groaned when I felt the cool head of his cock pressing into me. I shuddered. That was what I wanted, needed. I pushed down, moaning as I began taking him inside of me, and it wasn't fast or deep enough. Goodness
gracious.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, and then like literally this scene ends and then it's like chapter 43. Nyktos fucks Sera in his primal form. It's like we just move. And this
we upgraded.
We upgraded. I did not see this coming. I was just like, when he was like,
He
you
was
need to
already
run.
he was already so good and
He was already, this was
feral. Like, I think
next
he gets more
level.
feral. Yeah, and you're like, what is beyond?
I don't think there's anything beyond this.
No,
I
no.
really can't imagine it in my head. Couldn't imagine this in my head before I read it. So there was we could have just like talked about this entire chapter. But specifically, the part that I was like, I don't even know what to talk about in this. But the part
Yeah.
I ended up pulling was he was like, I don't want my pretty pussy feeling lonely. And I was like, and then she like thinks my pretty, and I was just like, excuse me? Eyes wide at his language, a laugh traveled up my throat, but never made it past my lips. A sudden cry of shocking pleasure did as those thicker, heavier shadows pulsed, parting the soft, warmer lips he spoke of. Oh gods, I cried out. My memories of this did not do it any justice. My head spun as the sensations at my breast and in my pussy overwhelmed me. It felt wonderfully indecent. It was indecent to read, and I enjoyed it, and I had so many questions.
Oh my.
It was probably one of the spiciest scenes I've seen between the two of them.
And that's saying something.
It is. And so my expectations, I feel like this is what happens. We've set some really high expectations with this chapter specifically for what I'm expecting in the next book and what I'm expecting from Poppy and Castile and God willing, or Jennifer Armentrout willing, Kieran in the Primal of Blood and Bone when she comes out of stasis.
And maybe a dragon. Wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it.
I hear they fuck hard.
So does Kieran, though, apparently.
Oh, well, yeah. Who fucks harder, Kieran or a dragon?
There should be a contest. Kieran versus Reaver.
Oh, boy. Oh, my. I can't.
I don't know why. That just popped in my head, but, you know.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
They do like to antagonize each other.
They do. They truly do. Maybe they just have some like sexual tension that's pent up that they need to release.
That's
I'll
possible.
witness it. I'll take them for the team.
I'm happy to read that.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. My husband's going to be like, what in the world? And I'll be like, just read this book. Just read this
You'll
chapter.
understand.
This chapter alone is why we upped it to 4 peppas.
Do you have shadows?
Mm-hmm.
If not, could you get some?
Could you get some, please? Can we order those on Amazon? Thank you. Anyway, whew. Chapter 44. I mean, this just keeps going, honestly. Let's be real. Nyktos
Also,
goes
what
down
kind
on
of
Sera
like
again.
think about that for a second. This man takes no time to recover.
I know. No refractory period. Just like, boom, ready again. You're like, give a girl a break, honestly. Like, a stretch. Hydrate. Well, they do feed, so, you know.
That's true.
But that makes it more.
That turns them on more, and so it's can't
never
stop,
ending.
Won't stop.
Nope. Good times. Good times for all. Okay. So then basically we get chapter 44. Nyktos goes down on Sera. And he says, I will spend the rest of eternity making sure you never doubt what I feel for you. He's promised, sliding his palms over my thighs. He parted them as he'd done with my lips moments before, gently and fiercely, starting now. And my back bowed as I felt his tongue sliding along the very center of me. The entire realm ceased to exist. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yep. And all I could do was give myself over to the heat spreading throughout my body as he lapped at my wetness, driving me higher and higher. I writhed and bucked against his mouth with each stroke, each time his tongue delved into me. The pleasure was so intense that it was almost painful, but he wasn't slowing down or stopping. And she says, Ash, please, I whispered, one leg curling, pressing into his side. And he says, I haven't tasted enough of you. His tongue flicked the knot of nerves, drawing a sharp cry from me. I don't think I'll ever get enough. Yes, please. And then we quickly get another fun one. Chapter 45, Nyktos and Sera have sex again. And she says, I couldn't look away from the vivid, icy burn of his stare as I drew my fingers along the length of his cock to the tip before lowering my hand to my belly. I let my knee fall to the side. Fuck your queen then. And there was no hesitation, not even a second. Ash thrust into me, seating himself all the way. His ragged moan joined mine. The muscles of his arms tightened as he braced himself, his hips beginning to move. The rhythm he set wasn't slow or gentle. It was a torrid pace, fast and hard. Wrapping my legs around his hips, all I could do was cling to him, and my fingers dug into the hard muscles of his shoulders as each plunge hit a spot deep inside me, unleashing tight waves of pleasure. Ash did as he said, as I demanded. He fucked his queen.
And he did a good job.
And he did a fantastic fucking job.
Like,
hot damn.
Hot damn. 4 peppers. Well done. Like, he could not, I mean, if you, greenest of green flags on so many levels. Okay.
Yes.
Theory time. We have a lot of theories. So, we're going to start quick rundown on ones we've discussed before, kind of where they stand after reading the 2nd book in the Flesh and Fire series, A Light in the Flame, and the 5th book in the Blood and Ash series, A Soul of Blood and Ash. Okay. So, who had the guards attack Sera in the castle? We still don't know the answer to this one. We thought it could be Tavius, but he allegedly still doesn't have a ton of money, so he couldn't have paid the guards. We also know that Callum didn't likely hire the guards because he's known since her birth that she carried the Embers of Life, so he wouldn't want to kill her.
No.
So that leaves a couple of options. Someone else in the mortal or Elysium realm that wanted her dead that we have, like, no idea.
Veses?
Or Veses, potentially, but Veses didn't know about her at that point, I don't think. Well, actually, she might have. She might have. It could be Veses. The other, this is a really bad one. Like, bad is, like, I hope it's not. But, like, what if it's her mom? Right? It sounds kind of crazy, but we learned that her mom stayed away from Sera because of the deal the ancestors made with her and because Sera reminded her of her dead husband. Is it possible that she thought that was the only option since Sera wasn't taken to be the consort of the Primal of Death?
I mean, that would make sense.
I mean, we know her mom stops having food sent to her room.
Yeah.
So, or it could be Veses. Fucking Veses.
Yeah. One of those two. Okay. So why does Nyktos' skin become warm after they have sex? So again, I believe it's because they're heartmates and Sera has the Embers of Life within her, eventually, becoming the Primal of Life at the end of the book. I think, again, it's the rebuilding of his cardia because she's a Primal of Life. She can create things. And, like, touching him and all the sex that they do, like, is creating a new cardia, I think. A better one.
Whole.
Just for her.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So why were Malik and Iris born in the mortal realm? We don't, like, technically learn anything about why Nyktos and Sera would want them to be born there. However, just after reading this book, I mean, it doesn't take, like, a rocket science to figure it out. I mean, there's going to be a major primal war happening, probably. Kolis is going to lose his shit when he finds out about Satoria's soul. So, like, just, like, seems like a very sensible option.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't want my kids to be around this shitstorm that's about to happen.
Right? Yeah, let's maybe move away from this war-torn country realm.
Right?
Yeah, maybe. So, okay. Also, why did the gods go to sleep? This book didn't really give us with anything concrete about why they all went to sleep. So we're currently theorizing that Sera goes into a major stasis as a result of the upcoming Primal War due to using too much of her powers. This could likely send the other gods into stasis as well. And then they awaken at, like, different times based on, like, how much power they used. So we do know that some gods awoke before Sera and the rest were starting to reawaken after her. But again, like, we don't really get, like, a real legit
like, concrete
reason. Yeah, we're just kind of like, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Is there some bigger reason why there's so many similarities between the relationship of Sera and Nyktos and Poppy and Castile? So we don't get technically any additional evidence from this book. However, we do think the 4 of them could be the 4 people referenced in the prophecy that'll remake the realms together. They also both have the heartmate connection, which we know is really rare and only given to people who will play a major role in changing the realms.
Yeah.
So.
And then who did Holland mean when he said, "You are his weakness" to Sera? Like, okay, yes, we were right on that. Sera is both the weakness to Kolis because she has Sartorius' soul in her, and she's the weakness to Nyktos because of his love for her. So we're like, got it. Check, check. Done.
Check. Mark it off. So can Nyktos get his Cardia back? How will be able to ensure Sera doesn't die? So we were right. We theorized that Nyktos did love Sera, so would be able to successfully complete her extension. We also theorized the heartmate connection could result in him getting his Cardia back too. So.
But like, does he technically have it back yet?
I think so. That's what he said. I think that's how I took what he said.
That's what, yeah.
That it returned to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of that. So then, are the primal embers of life somehow protecting Sera? Yes, they are. So we theorize that the embers were bonding to Sera at the end of A Light and Flame, and they become more bonded with her throughout this book until she finally becomes the primal of life that she was truly destined to be. Huzzah.
So is Castile related to Attes? We get more reasons in this book why we are convinced that this is the case. Or we're completely off base, but we're 100% convinced this is the case. The more we learn about Attes, the more similarities we see between him and Castile.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
Now, what if Sartorius' soul is in Poppy somehow? So initially we're like, okay, maybe that was a little too cray-cray when we first proposed it, but 100% convinced now that we're right. I mean, come on. We learn at the end of this book, Sartorius' soul is stored in the Star Diamond with the plans for Kella to allow her soul to eventually be reborn once Kolis is entombed. We also know that Sartoria description looks exactly like Poppy's, and Sartoria literally translates to, like, my pretty Poppy. Like, you know, like it's there, writing on the wall. It's right there.
It's like baguettes.
Yeah.
Hitting us upside the head.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Do you remember Sera was talking about, like, how the diamond was, like, her mom's, like, ring? Right?
Yes.
And so now we know that Sartoria's soul is in a different diamond. We also know that Isbeth, had a ring from Malik. What if that diamond ring was literally the Sartoria soul ring? And that's why.
Or what if it's Kolis? No,
because Sartoria is in this diamond. But that's how, because Poppy is Isbeth's daughter. That's how they got her out, and they put her purposely into Poppy when she got. I don't know.
Like, I just remember, like, bad at her job because she was supposed to prevent all this.
Right? Like, come on, girl. So then, what happened to Kella? Maybe something happened.
Is she asleep? Like, what's going on? I need to know where she's at. I have questions on her.
Yeah.
So, can anyone kill Kolis? We learned that it's going to be impossible to kill Kolis during the Flesh and Fire series timeline. Super great news for all involved. The best hope they can have is to entomb him, which we anticipate will happen in the next book in the series, Born of Blood and Ash. We also know at the end of the War of Two Queens that Poppy needs to kill Kolis, according to Nyktos, which we believe is because Poppy has Sartoria's soul. And we've learned from this book that Sartoria is the only one who can kill Kolis because love can weaken a primal. So, yes, we think someone can kill him. We think it's Sartoria, who is now Poppy.
Yes.
Castile's going to lose his shit.
Callum?
I know.
Poppy has, and she recognized him, but not as, like, her brother.
No. And he doesn't act like he recognizes her. There's, like, one comment he makes.
Yeah.
So. I know. I have questions about it, too.
Yeah. So all that shit
like,
he was giving to Sera about, like, you recognized me last time. It's like, well, maybe that was your wishful thinking?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So why does Sera hate Revenants so much? What's so personal about that to her? I mean, she could just hate them based on how much she had to spend so much time with fucking Callum, that she hated him. And so she's like, they all suck. Like, he sucks. They all suck. He can make anybody, like, hate Revenants, honestly. So, okay, there's probably something more to it that'll likely happen in the next book. That'll give us more insight. But again, she hates Revenants, and she's the true primal of life. That's all we know so far.
Yeah. So is Castile God? He's not in this book, so we don't technically learn anything else. However, there is a few tidbits to support our theory that he is a god and he might actually be a primal. First, we know primals can shift. We see Castile shift into a cave cat at the end of A Soul of Ash and Blood. Second, we learn that ancient bones will kill another with a scratch and can incapacitate a primal. Castile gets injured by one and he survives. This could be because he's joined with Poppy, potentially, or because he's a primal himself. Third, we're pretty confident he's a descendant of Attes, which one would think could also make it possible that he's like a god or potentially a primal. I
Mhm.
also think we're going to talk about in a minute. There's more to do with Castile and Attes. So
Uh,
we'll see.
we shall see. Okay. But back to Poppy. Will Poppy remember who she is and everyone else when she awakens? Like, is she going to remember all these stories that Castile told her? We're going to say yes, because that's kind of similar to how Sarah remembered everyone when she came out of stasis. Like, Ash was telling her all the stuff. She remembered. So it's possible that Poppy, like, might struggle at first, the whole, like, mine, and then, like, have sexy time. But I think she'll eventually remember everyone. I mean, I hope she does, because then she needs to have sexy time with Castile and Kieran. So, I mean, we do learn that most primals do remember. The only notable exception was Kin, which, why? Why was that mentioned? Why did Kin not remember people? But we also believe that she will, again, since we saw Sarah remember some of the stories that Nyktos told her while she was in stasis. Can't wait to hear what Poppy questions when she wakes up. Be like, I'm sorry, what did you do with that bitch back then? Like, excuse me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, could Poppy, Castile, and Kieran all be heartmates? So we theorized at the end of A Soul of Ash and Blood that all three of them could be heartmates. More convinced now that this is true. We learn in this book that a heartmate can happen between two or more souls. Sounds like our favorite trio could be heartmates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that was a very, yeah, I think it is.
Very intentional phrasing.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so now besides being...
What if she just remembers Kieran? She wouldn't do that to us. Jennifer Armentrout wouldn't do that to us.
Don't do us dirty like that. No. Fuck.
Okay, I can't process that right now.
I can't go there.
If that happens, I will. You can emotionally destroy me in this
done.
book. I cannot be emotionally destroyed on like the very beginning. You need to wait until we're like 70% of the way through. I can't cry the whole book.
Right, yeah, then it's just not fun. Well, maybe, but oh my gosh. Oh, why would you put that in the universe, Steph?
Well, the book's already out there. Like, it's already been written, so it's not like I can change it.
Stop it.
But I just thought, like, because I'm trying to think about two or more heartmates, two or more souls, and then why do they keep... I can't understand why they keep telling us about Ken. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, that was brought up. And that, because in Soul of Ash and Blood, Nyktos even mentions how there's, like, two people he's known that haven't done this, I think, when he tells them to talk to Poppy. So I'm just like, there has to be some reason. There has to be some primal who's in stasis that comes out and doesn't remember people, and that causes some sort of conflict.
Yeah, that's true. That it is setting that up, that somebody's going to do that.
And it could be one of the gods that are awakening, right? Like
Ios.
Or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Kolis. Maybe he doesn't remember how he's an asshole.
Right.
That would be great. And we're not that lucky.
No, we're not that lucky. Let's see. So, okay. Besides now being power hungry, is there any other reason why Kolis wants to ascend as the primal of life and death? Besides the obvious. But according to fucking Callum, Kolis has some goodness inside of him that we can't see. It's buried deep down. Deep down. Almost invisible. It's like...
If you squint real hard.
You squint really hard. Like, the Grinch has a bigger heart than Kolis, Like, let's be real. It's alluded, apparently, that Kolis has other personal reasons for wanting to be the primal of life and death. Is it possible that he wants to bring back some of the people he's killed and feels guilty, such as his brother, Ethos? Maybe. But we know that Kolis mentioned the crazy idea he had about Nyktos possibly resurrecting his father if he became the primal of life and death. So, I don't know. Does Kolis have another personal reason like that outside of the obsession with Satoria? Maybe, but I just think he's just a bad dude with bad intentions.
He is. I don't understand him.
Yeah.
So why did Colum tell Sarah's mother about how to kill a primal? So everything about fucking Colum is confusing. Everything. He is the hardest character to read in the series because his motivations are extremely unclear. We know he supports Kolis, so it doesn't make legitimately any sense that he would want Sera to know how to kill a primal, since killing the primal of death, Nyktos, would cause the realms to end, since there has to be a primal of life and a primal of death at all times.
Yeah.
However, this is really unhinged. Really unhinged. What if he's actually wanting Kolis to die?
I think he does.
Right? So he mentions Kolis has changed. He doesn't seem to agree with some of the choices Kolis has made. Is it possible he wants the realms to end because that would likely result in a final death for him? Is
Yeah,
it
like he's just ready
possible
to be done.
to be done? Is it possible that he helped free Kolis at the end of the War of Two Queens because he knew it was time for the prophecy to be fulfilled?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes. I
It's
think you're onto
crazy,
that.
right?
Yeah. I think he's like Colin's just like, you know what? I've seen some shit. I'm done.
I'm done.
like I would like to slit my own throat again and this time let it stick. Like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm
If you want to talk
throwing
about
in the towel.
redemption, is that what we're gonna get? Like the most massive redemption arc of Column in the Primal Blood and Bone, or like the book after that?
Right? Yeah. I don't know. So, okay. Again on Column. Does he recognize Poppy as Satoria? I mean, we kind of said that like he should supposedly, right? Like Poppy is Satoria and he should recognize her. He does say like you said like it's an honor to meet her in the War of Two Queens, but maybe there was more meaning behind that statement than we previously thought. But he doesn't like outright say like I know you.
I know, but I don't think he could in that situation, right? Like she
Yeah,
wouldn't know that she's Satoria,
that's true.
right?
Again, I think
Okay,
he just wants everything to end. He's like, I'm done. I'm out.
I'm done. This is not because I think about it. Like, why in God's name would he want his sister with Kolis?
Yeah. Because he wants to
Like,
be with Kolis. I still think he loves Kolis. Even though he is fucking somebody else.
I mean, someone needs. Well, Veses loves Kolis. Kolis wants no one but Satoria, who doesn't want him.
Right? It's like the
It's so
weirdest
messed
love
up.
triangle square
It
ever.
is. Okay. Well, we're about to make it real fucked up now.
Oh,
Okay.
good lord.
So why does Attes promise Satoria he will save her this time? And when did he previously not save her? What's his connection to her? So we know that Attes met Satoria after she was brought back to life by Kolis. Okay. So theorizing that he may have visited her while she was held in the gilded cage, similar to how he was visiting Sarah. We also know he was close with Ethos at the time, so he would have known about the truth about Satoria and her history. We also know that he's heard Satoria laugh, which would be unusual for him to have heard when she's around Kolis, which means he would have heard her laugh when it was just the two of them more than likely. What if he fell in love with Satoria while she was captured, while she was held captive? What if he wanted to help her escape but wasn't able to do so? We know that Kolis put the scar on Attes' face with an ancient bone. What if that was because of the relationship he developed with Satoria? And let's take it further. Really unhinged. What if Attes' soul is somehow reborn and is Castile?
I
I told you it was unhinged.
Oh my Lanta. Girl.
And because we know that Attes said that Kolis killed his children. What if Satoria was pregnant with Attes' children? And Kolis found out, and that's how she died.
Second.
And he blames Ethos because Attes and Ethos were like.
Yeah. I mean, my mind is just blown right now. I I can't even. Oh my gosh. I can't handle that right now, Steph. I can't handle that right now. My mind is going to explode.
You should have seen my mind when I like was connecting the dots. I was like, what? And they just kept like building and building. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, either this is going to be so accurate and so dead on or so completely wrong. Like there is no middle ground.
There's no middle ground. It's either or.
It just feels like there is some deeper connection between Attes and Satoria. Like he feels when he says like, I will save you this time, like he feels personally pained by what happened to her. Mm-hmm. Why would he feel that way?
Yeah.
Because he even talks about how like Satoria is almost more important than Sera.
Yeah. I see it.
And it would explain why was it in A Soul of Ash and Blood, and I can't remember if Poppy says it in From Blood and Ash too, but like Castile says, he makes a comment about they haven't been together that long. And he says, it feels like I've known her for longer. Like there's this connection. Mm-hmm. So
might be onto something.
Or I might be really unhinged.
And that could be it too. Who knows?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Who knows? Okay. Who told Kolis about the Star Diamond and why? So, okay, we know the Ere. Fucking Ere. We're supposedly the only ones who knew about it. Whatever. They're not really supposed to interfere unless the balance has been upset somehow. But is it possible that the balance was upset in a major way that we're unaware of? Unrelated to Kolis. Like a whole other fucked up thing happened in addition to Kolis and his shit. Yeah.
Like, was he given the Star Diamond as like someone else did something bad and it made it harder for you? So here is your
reward?
I don't know. Like,
also, who got it? Who went down there and got it? Because the way it was made,
exactly.
You know, it's like, was it made that mountain with all the tunnels underneath?
And they just found it in a tunnel?
And Kieran, they found it in a tunnel?
That would be interesting. I don't know. I need to look better at the maps. I have not gotten into like deep analyzing maps.
Yeah.
I don't love geography. Analyzing. You guys.
I'm still stuck on the joining.
I'm still stuck on the when we talk about the joining, my mind goes to the joining. And
I mean, yeah. Then everything's lost. So also, I still can't get over the whole, like, calling her soulless and then, like, the city is soulless. You know, I'm just like, is that where Sera is? Soulless, my soul? That's that where she's buried? Entombed?
I think she's still in the Elysium, right? That's what I thought. Maybe not. Actually, we've never been told.
What if it's like upside down world? Like here's soulless, and it's same
the Elysiums were under
the upside down.
I'm gonna need a map
here. I know.
I'm gonna need maps. Okay.
Yeah.
Could there be more going on with Lathan? Nyktos keeps bringing up his name throughout the series, which makes me theorize there might be more to him than we've been told. What if he's a victor?
Ooh, I can see that.
Like, I think there's something, like, I don't know why he keeps coming up. Like,
it'd be a lot more convenient if all the victors were named Victor.
Yes, but also it's very confusing when it's like Victor ER and Victor OR.
Yeah.
The English major in me is like, which one is which again?
Who is who? I mean, it's not enough that we have Nyktos and Nyktos. You're like, wait.
And Malik and Malik.
Yeah, I'm like, can you not do this to us, please? This is difficult. Okay. Will the ancients somehow come back? God, I hope not. But they might. I think they're going to show up. I think maybe not in the next book in the Flesh and Fire series, but it's going to happen. There's just too much tension with that. Our best bet is that like something's going to happen related to the primal of blood and bone. I mean, Jennifer Armentrout has spent too much time educating us about the ancients and how they need to never regain power for it not to be important or for it to not happen. Like,
yeah,
the world's going to end and that's what happens. I don't know.
Just when you think Kolis is the worst thing that could happen. Nope.
Right? Yeah. Nope.
It's the ancients.
Fuck.
All right.
Even Kolis
so-
is afraid of the ancients.
I know.
He's like, oh, hell
That
no.
makes me terrified.
Yeah.
Just when I think there's nothing more fucked up than Kolis.
Yeah.
We're going to get the ancients. Okay, so what future role is Kaylee Balfour going to play? So there is a brief interaction with her when Nyktos and Sera see her and they speak with Delphi. While this interaction seems very inconsequential, we learn that she's used to seeing gods and primals, which makes us wonder who visits her and why. We also know that Poppy is given the last name Balfour. So somehow Kaylee and her family are going to play a role in what's to come. Because otherwise, why would Cora and Leopold choose that name?
Yeah.
Because that's not their real last name.
Yeah, no. Don't know. That's a good theory. Don't know what's going to happen here. Okay. What did Ethos tell Nyktos to remember? Okay. Nyktos doesn't even remember exactly what was said. So we got to figure this one out. So it's similar to how Sera told Poppy her name in a vision. And Poppy didn't remember it until like she needed to. So is that same thing going to happen here with Nyktos? And it's going to be something that helps him either to entomb Kolis or aid in defeating Kolis or I don't know.
It's going to be important.
It's going to be important.
Okay.
And also, they were fighting the shades. And remember when Sera touched the shades and like started to come back to life? So maybe it's that they can be saved. But should they be?
I don't know. It's like The Mummy. I didn't like it.
Ugh.
I mean, I love The Mummy movies, but
like Brendan Fraser.
Yes. Okay. Is Sera pregnant? So we're convinced that she's pregnant with Malik and Iris for a couple primary reasons. First, she brings up in this book not keeping track of her menstruation very well, how it's been a few weeks since she had one. Then she's with Kolis for multiple weeks, which means she should have had her period during this time, which is not mentioned. Second, when she is in stasis, she sees herself as a cave cat and two smaller cave cats alongside her. We know Iris can shift into a cave cat. She eventually has twins, which causes us to believe that she is currently pregnant while she's in stasis.
So crazy. Being pregnant while you're in a coma. Ugh. No fun.
It happens.
But I guess, yeah. Not lastly, but kind of in the theories world. Does Millicent actually know and feel more than we think? So we're convinced, like, yes, this is the case because she's a revenant like Callum, who is full of wants and needs. Also likely means she has a soul, unlike the other revenants, perhaps. But that would mean, does that mean she's Malik's heartmate? And she does know it? Like, can you be a heartmate when you are a revenant?
If you have a soul, yes.
So she has a soul. What if she's just pretending not to care about this entire time? Like, just to, like, protect him. And she's always known who he is. There's, like, too many potential heartmate things going on there, you know?
I think it is Nyktos and Sera. I think Castile and Poppy. And then I do think Malik and Millicent are heartmates. And I think she's known this entire time.
Mm-hmm. But maybe they're the ones who are not meant to be.
Because she's so heartbreaking.
Because it only talks about 4, not 6. So somebody's
I don't think they're gonna help remake the realms. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I do think I hope they don't kill him off. That'd be sad.
I know
she's gonna kill people. I need to make a list of all the people that have ever died and who have been brought back to life. So I know like who's most likely to like die.
Yeah, right.
In this next series. I need to prepare emotionally. Okay. Yeah. In terms of what's next, if you've enjoyed this book, you're also going to love the rest of the series as well as the Blood Match series. We're covering all the books. We're getting really close because in a few weeks, the Primal Blood and Bone is coming out. So cannot wait. If you like romantasy with lots of complicated backstories, then we also suggest checking out The Wren in the Holly Library and The Robin on the Oak Throne by K.A. Lind. Lots of twists and turns and previous histories between two characters that plays a very big role in everything that happens.
Yeah, it's insane. And then join us next week when we dive into the world of contemporary romance and discuss Only Between Us by L.E.K. Wild. And we'll also be back on September 8th with an episode on Vision of Flesh and Blood and an episode on September 10th on the final book in the Flesh and Fire series, Born of Blood and Ash. Welcome to the Crazy Theory Show. Happy reading, everybody.
Happy reading. Thanks for listening to Late Night Reads. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Late Night Reads Podcast. And check out latenightreads.com for even more information about all the books we're reading. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And share the show with your fellow book lovers.